The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Detroit.
Being the first to do anything isn't easy. So is the story for both Division I state finalists today. The Davison Cardinals, out of the Saginaw Valley League, took overtime a week ago to punch their ticket to Detroit. The Brighton Bulldogs, the first school ever from Livingston County to make the championship game at any level, is here as well. Both have dreams of claiming their first ever state championship trophy. The drama plays out in front of us right now. It's the MHSAA Division I Championship on Fox Sports Detroit. Here come the big boys. Hi, everybody, with my big partner, former Lions tight end Rob Rubick. I'm Matt Shepard. We'll hear from Brooke Fletcher in a moment. Brighton and Davison. Most people are surprised they're here. Are you, and why?
I'm not. As I told you in the selection show, Shep, I thought whoever came out of that district with Romeo, Davison, and Lapeer had a really good opportunity. It's a very tough district. Davison proved they were the power of the area.
Yeah, they play in a really tough league. How has that league prepared them for this moment?
Well, it's really prepared them. You have to remember now, at the end of the season, they lost 2 of their last 3 games. They lost to De La Salle in Week 7, and then in Week 9, they lost to Lapeer at home. And talking to head coach Jake Weingards, he felt the Lapeer loss was really a turning point. They had it pretty easy up to then, but then after Lapeer beat them, he thought his team really became refocused, and which set him up for a 4-0 playoff run where they've been really, really well. They're doing a good job offensively and defensively, pounding the ball with Caleb Smith and also with Carter Kreiderman. These 2 backs will bang it. And if that's not working, Brendan Sullivan, number 6, he's a pretty talented quarterback. He can spin it deceivingly fast, and this Davison team can really, really put you to task trying to defend them.
Yeah, they don't give up either, folks. They trailed in their first 3 playoff games, and yet they're here on this Saturday to play for a title against a Brighton, the team that may have pulled the biggest upset in the state playoffs a week ago.
And this is the play right here. Kobe Newberg, he's going to be pressured, Shep, and he just scrambles. He finds a way to make the play. And this is how their season's been this year. It hasn't been easy for them. You look at both these teams, 2 losses coming in. They've had to scratch and claw for everything they've got. But this offense is under the guidance of Colby Newberg, because Colby is a balanced quarterback. When you talk about you want your quarterback to be balanced, 17 touchdowns, 17 running and passing during the course of the season up to the semifinals. This young man, everything goes through him. And if they're going to have a big game today, A.J. Lynn and Ruben Salinas, the 2 wide receivers, might be the key if he can get them the ball.
Newberg, a big reason that they were able to possess the football for almost 31 minutes in the win over Belleville last week. Maybe that's what it will take against Davison here today. Come on back to Ford Field. The big boys are ready to tussle. It's Brighton or Davison on Fox Sports Detroit as Football Week in Michigan continues after this.
The tunnel now. About 2 or 3 minutes, we're getting ready to go out on the field. Fellas, we're taking the field just like we do every day. We're taking the field like every home game. Nothing's different. All right, there's a few extra people in the seats. That's where you guys got to be coming from. All right, so you got a couple minutes here. Shake hands with your buddy. Stay for that last moment, and then we're going to get started.
Fast, physical from the first snap to the last. That's what got us here, okay? Nothing pretty, all right? Junkyard dog, smash mouth football, okay? Defense, set the tone, all right? And then offense, we're gonna get a crack. Let's start fast. Guys, enjoy it, have fun, stay together, do what got you here, right? Do what got you here, stay together, we're a family. Coaches, anything else, we're good? Kickoff set the damn tone. That's where we're going first. Let's go.
Come on, that'll get you fired up, won't it? Those are the speeches you love to hear. I don't care what you're about to do. You could be sitting at a computer. You could be ready to call a game. You could be ready to play in a game. That will get you fired up and ready to do whatever it is your task is ahead of you. Let's see if Davison or Brighton can take advantage of those inspirational speeches. It'll be Brighton with the football first. They're in white with the orange numbers. Davison kicks it away. And here come the Bulldogs. Carson Billing on a return to the 28-yard line. Colby Noberg will lead the Bulldogs offense. Rob Rubick, what do you like about his skill set?
Well, I like that we talked about in the open. He can do both things you want a quarterback to do. That's run and pass. 36 total TDs, Shep. This guy, he's not a one-trick pony. You can't just focus in on trying to stop him in the power game and the zone read game because he can throw it. You'll see a little bit of RPO action with him today, and he can get the ball down the field. Just a real good competitor as well.
Nick Nemechek, the junior tailback to his left. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards on the year. That's where they start. Not much there at all because of Riley Henderson and the front four of the Davison Cardinals. First, for Brighton, their offensive line averages 6'2", 250 pounds. Nate Hoffman is their lone defensive or Division I recruit. He's going to Air Force. Ruben Salinas leads this team in receptions and yards. And as we mentioned, Nemechek over 1,000 yards rushing this year and almost 200 carries.
You see, you got a tight formation. Look at this. You got all 11 people on offense within, 5 yards of the ball, and you have about 11 people on defense within 8 yards of the ball.
Second down and 9. Nemechek squeezed to a hole shy of the 35. Davison's defense surrenders just 14 points per game. Up front, they average 6'2", 221. Their leading tackler is Logan Pasco. He wears 35 in yellow and has a team-high 115 tackles on the season. Good corners. Trell Fordham and Jalen Murray Flowers have broken up 12 passes between them. It's a 3rd down and 4 passing situation here for Brighton. Newberg with a shovel pass. That'll bring up 4th down because Mason McGuire found it very clogged inside. Number
10 getting up from the pile for Davis and Harry Unger. He has really been the difference in this defense. Pascal and Caleb Smith have been good players over the past couple of years. The ascension of this junior defensive end / outside linebacker has really made this defense so much tougher. Very physical player, good range as well.
Jacob Morrishinelli will punt it away. And Latrell Fordham is back to receive it for the Davison Cardinals. Low snap, handled it, and a paw got a piece of it.
I'm not sure exactly what Brighton was trying to do with this. They have 2 men back, like next to each other right here, 16 and 7. Who's going to punt the ball? Well, the snap goes between them, and they both kind of fight over it. And I'm not even sure anyone hit the ball. I just think he really shanks it. We'll get a better look here on super slow-mo. See if someone gets a hand on it. No, I don't think anyone did. I think he just shanked it off to the left. Ends up being, I don't know, maybe about an 8, 9-yard punt.
Well, that was Carson Billig who did the punting there, which is a little odd because Morrishinelli is their usual punter. But whatever the case may be, they've allowed Davison in prime field position at the 39 of Brighton. They start with a quick slant. And to the 25-yard line tumbles Harrison Terry, his 40th catch of the year.
Well, Latrell Fordham, number 1, will get a lot of the attention of the Brighton defense. But Harrison Terry, who's been at Davison for the past couple of years, he also is a playmaker. People, you can't overlook number 4, and that's what makes this offense so tough. They're not just a 1 or 2 trick pony. They can run the ball. They have 2 very capable wide receivers as well.
Sullivan almost 2,800 yards through the air and 32 touchdowns. He'll throw it again. The other side, same result, different receiver. Fordham hauls it in. Impressive numbers for the junior at 6'3", $190.
You see the 12 interceptions. Most of those, he had a tough game against De La Salle, but he didn't have his number 1 weapon. Fordham did not play in that game, which obviously handcuffs the quarterback a little bit. Now you see Coach Weingart signaling, we're going to watch power. There's going to be a run here, Shep. Let's keep an eye on it.
Caleb Smith feeling his way inside. Gain of 1. Nate Quapitz, number 57 in white, made the tackle. The senior defensive tackle.
This is going to be power. You're going to see they're going to pull backside. We're going to kick out here with the H back. Let it go. That's going to be Pasco, number 35. He's going to kick it out. And just you see Smith just follow to get it up in there, and that's basic football.
Third down toss and dropped. Intended for Harrison Terry, who couldn't quite corral it.
Well, Terry's going to run. I used to call this a China. It has a lot of names. What it's going to be is Harrison Terry. He's going to run like he's doing a drag across the field about 3 or 4 steps, and he's going to spin out of the route. Choice route, people call it different things, but he was wide open in the well-thrown ball by Sullivan. Harrison Terry like to have that one back.
4th and 2. Looks like Davison is going for it.
You see 17, Caleb Smith in the backfield. They see Brighton's drawn up now. They're going to play some man-free look here.
4 wide receivers set, and we've got an early timeout. Scoreless game. Davidson's defense forced to 3 and out. Their offense is marching, staring at an important 4th and 2. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Kroger, ending hunger by 2025, and by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. What a day, what a weekend. One of our favorites of the year at a beautiful facility. Boy, Ford Field is awesome, isn't it? 4th and 2, that's the Bulldog mascot for Brighton. Here for the first time along with Davison. Davison on their first offensive possession, staring at a 4th and 2.
You run a read here, give your quarterback the option.
They'll throw forward. They got it. Just a quick out to Latrell Fordham, his second catch on the drive.
What a wonderful throw by Brendan Sullivan. Gets it out, as you said, Shep. You can't cover this. You have to play off a little bit. Look at the corner's only playing a couple yards. That's just quick out of a cut. There's not much room for error in that throw, and Brendan Sullivan, who we know he has a few MAC offers already at quarterback, so he's a player.
Well, they did jam him, so it's not bad coverage, right?
No, it isn't. It's just a little bit too quick out of the cut. That's what I'd like to see receivers do.
1st and 10 for Sullivan and the Davison Cardinals. Fakes it to Smith. Quick slant. Is he in? No. At the goal line, Harrison Terry moves the chains again. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, they run it off their running play. This is like a power slant, an RPO. You get a chance maybe after this. They're going to catch and substitute. You better take a timeout if you're Brighton. Too many men on the field.
And that's play will not count. They stop it automatically.
They do, because it's not too many men. It's offside.
Offside,
because
right.
The defender of Brighton was on this side of the line. It's automatically blown dead. It's really not a bad penalty, so you give up 6 inches here, if that.
Substitution infraction, defense, half the distance to the goal. What remains 1st down.
Here's the deal. Davison in that situation, they're not trying to catch anyone offside. What they're trying to do is not allow substitution. They want Brighton to get their big package in the game by doing so, by hurrying back to the line of scrimmage, and they caught Brighton off guard. But now, with the penalty by Brighton, they will be able to substitute and get their big guys in.
So 4 tries now from the half-inch line.
We talked in the open, Chef, about the balance that this Davison offense has, and we've seen it already. You know, a little more on the pass heavy, getting Brendan Sullivan comfortable in the game. Talking to Coach Weingart's prior, I asked him his game plan. He said, well, we're going to throw a lot of short passes initially to get Brendan comfortable here at this environment. Then once I get him comfortable, then we can kind of open up the playbook and open up the passing game a little bit more.
Well, that passing game's pretty impressive on this drive. Sullivan just doesn't throw it for yards and touchdowns, Rubes.
Oh,
he's at a 66% completion rate. Pretty impressive. He's got Caleb Smith and Logan Pasco in the backfield with him. Crawls under center. He'll take it himself.
Well, I didn't hear the whistle. I mean, they let that go a long time.
Now, the signal is touchdown.
Well, this has been my pet peeve the whole weekend, hasn't it, Chef? I'm not a big scrum guy. I just think that initially it's one of those plays, a quarterback sneak. If you get it stopped, it's stopped. But they let it go on, and he ends up getting back in. And to his credit, Brendan Sullivan keeps fighting, and his offensive line keeps working. Logan Pascal getting a little pushing behind, but to me, that play has been dead for a little bit there, but he gets in. I'm not sure he wasn't in to begin with anyways. So my point is, what if someone comes flying in from the secondary right now and just, lights up the pile? You got to be careful. But I think that's going to be, they're going to watch it on replay.
Yeah, remember, these plays are reviewable.
Yeah, scoring plays are, yep.
And they will take a look at it.
Anything we've shown is what they're going to see. And I'm not sure there's anything.
Touchdown. That play is under further review.
Anything that we've seen will turn this over.
And just a reminder, the referees will make their decision off the replays we just showed you. It does not come from coaches. The replay request is done by replay officials on any scoring play or potential scoring play, and then the turnovers as well, a fumble or an interception.
We'll get one more look here, Shep. Kind of a late shift. Brendan Sullivan comes under center, buries his head, trying to get pushed in, and a pretty heads-up play defensively by Luke Stanton, was trying to strip the ball, because that ball comes out of there. Could be a huge turnover. I believe this is going to stand, and Davison's going to take an early 6-0 lead.
After video review, the play on the field stands touchdown.
Trevor Rhodes on for the extra point. Out of the hold of Brendan Densmore and the long snap of Peyton Pizzala. Rhodes 13 of 15 on extra points this year. And a nice first drive of the day for Davison. 7 plays, 39 yards in 2.5 minutes. They've drawn first blood down to the field. The third member of our broadcast team. Hi, Brooke Fletcher.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, you guys have talked about how both of these teams didn't really expect to be here today, but I had a chance to talk to Coach Weingartz before the game, and I said, what would it mean to this team to win a state title? He said it would mean everything to not only the players, but this town as well. He goes, I know it was unexpected for us to be here, but we earned our spot. And Matt and Rob, I love he said this. He goes, we come from a blue-collar town, and you can expect us to play some blue-collar football.
Yeah, and he says that facing the adversity, Brooke, has really helped. A true test of our character. It's how we respond in adverse times is what has made him really appreciate this group of kids he's working with. Hear from Brooke throughout our broadcast today. Weingartz in just his second season, 18-5 on the season. Was a head coach at Lapeer East for a period of time. When Lapeer combined their two football programs, East and West, they not only got stronger, but their coaching staff. Mike Smith, Jane Weingartz came over. Weingartz became the offensive guru, Smith the head coach. And then when the Davison job opened up, Weingartz was a pretty logical choice.
Very good. Yeah, that's exactly how it transpired, Shep.
Billy slips his way to the 25. These two schools aren't far from one another.
It's down US 23. Take 69 over to 23 and head south out of Flint. And 40 minutes apart. Similar styles. I think Davison has the edge throwing the ball. And I think Brighton's defensive front coming in, I thought was going to be the telltale difference, but Davison with a good game plan coming in. They haven't tested that front. They've thrown the ball. Speaking of
Brighton, will be at the Legacy Sports Complex tomorrow for the Legacy All-Star game. Brighton on a quarterback keeper. Colby Newberg paid the price, but got some good yardage. Logan Pasco made the tackle. Brighton is here, and Rob Rubick pointed it out. Perhaps the biggest upset, maybe even for the entire season, beating Belleville last week 22-19. But credit where credit is earned for Brighton. They've done a nice job at weaving their way through a very difficult schedule. needed to control the ball against Belleville's Tigers, and they did, and they forced some turnovers. So for some it was surprising, but not for Brian Lemons and his squad. 2nd and 5. Newberg again. Good for the edge. Tough to find it. Speaking of the win over Belleville, first time they ever beat Belleville in school history. Scored the game-winning touchdown with less than a minute to play. And what a celebration ensuing for the Brighton Bulldogs.
Yeah, Nemechek comes up with a big grab here on the very end. That helps him win the game. And that was the defense. They had to defend Belleville coming back. But the first play was the touchdown that Nemechek got. Here's a look at Nick Nemechek.
3rd and 5. Newberg will throw. First down. Mason McGuire on the receiving end.
Well, we saw Davison do this with Brendan Sullivan and Latrell Fordham. It's just a quick out. And Newberg delivers the ball right on time as well. A nice catch. Good job getting the ball up the field that time.
They got 10 on the play. Man, it's physical up front between these two teams, I'll tell you. You can see it. You've got to earn it here today. Newberg off play action. Across the grade, what a grab. Boy, he threw it right in a really tight window, and Luke Stanton used that big body to box everybody else and haul it in. 6'4", 235, paying dividends.
Well, this is a gutsy throw. You can see Stanton to the left side just doing a drag. Coverage is good. I mean, in coverage is Caleb Smith, and he's shadowing him. But Stanton, as you said, just the bigger body. Just like basketball, you screen him out a little bit. You keep your body between the Q and the defender. You got a great opportunity to make a play, and that's what Stanton did.
Now, as an OC, offensive coordinator, you love 2nd down and 1, don't you?
I do, but Davison really loads the box. I don't think you can get greedy here. I think you just got to try to move the sticks.
Fake the pitch, and they paid the price. Good penetration by Logan Pasco. From the middle linebacker spot, he's eating them up, and a -4.
And this is why I said you got to be careful. You had a 2nd and 1. You don't try to get too fancy. You just try to move the sticks, go north and south. That time you tried a little trickeration of some type. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. It just looked disjointed from the beginning. But instead, you lose 4 yards. Now you're in a 3rd and 5 situation. Looks like there's going to be some type of option, Shep. Maybe a... But,
yeah, like a fake pitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Davison was really spread out now. You get the box loaded here. When you got lockdown corners, you can do this. You can pack the box because you feel safe outside.
They've converted 1 3rd down. Oh, they could have converted there, but it slipped through the fingertips of A.J. Lynn.
That's a pretty good ball. Maybe a little bit quick. A.J. Lynn didn't quite get his head turned around, but it's hard to fault Kobe Newberg on this throw because he steps and he throws a little bit of pressure in his face. And that went right through the hands of A.J. Lynn.
Now Brighton forced to punt it back. Fordham lets it bounce. And it's cradled at the 20.5-yard line. How did Davison get here? They needed overtime to beat Sterling Heights Stevenson. They outgained them 358 yards to 160 in the second half, and they beat them by 7 in OT.
Well, Caleb Smith had a big day. Carter Kreiderman as well. But finally, the defense for Davison comes up big, gets the stop when they needed to, and advances them to their first state final championship. As you said, we got 2 first-timers here. Somebody's going home here today. A first-time champion.
Davison out of the Saginaw Valley League, where they finished 2nd to Lapeer at a 1st and 10 from just outside their own 20. Brendan Sullivan has the lone touchdown. It is a nice first down run for Gabe Smith. Tugs his way to the 31. Actually, that was Carter Kreiderman. Over 700 yards during the season for the 5'11", 188-pound junior. time, he's going the wrong way. Good play by the middle linebacker, Brendan Mercier.
Mercier does a nice job coming up and making this, but let's stop right here. This is just going to be a little bit of a power again running this way, but it gets strung out. A nice job. You're going to see the right side. They're going to pull, cut back on the. Actually, this is outside zone. I thought it was a power play. This looks like a zone, but good penetration. We're going to chance. I want to get a look of the all 22 because I can show you what Davison's first drive has done to this secondary of Brighton. They were playing off 8 to 10 yards. They're creeping up because of those. Remember those quick slants they ran in that first series.
Quick out there. Fordham catches it, wrapped up at the 35. You described power and zone. Quickly decipher the difference for our audience.
I'm gonna take a look here if our director Brian's gave us a look at the 22 so I can show you the coverage. But power is you're going to pull people. You're going to pull backside. You're going to take that H-back who's away from the play and lead him and either kick out or run him through. Zone is everyone just steps together. Steps together. It's like synchronized swimming. No one's pulling. You're just stepping play side and blocking the first color that comes in your zone.
3rd down and 7. We'll see it here in a moment. 4 wide receivers set for Davison. Kreiderman, the lone tailback. For Sullivan, who wants to throw. Rolls the pocket. A little jump ball, and it's caught shy of the 50 for a first down, thanks to Peyton Pizzala.
And this is how Peyton Pizzala works. He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest, but he has an ability to make plays when needed. And he's just set down in a flood pass. You got one in the flat, and you got one going deep, and then Peyton Pizzala's in the middle. And just finds a little spot, sits down, a nice job delivering the ball. You can see him running the out here. They clear with the wide out, which holds the deep 3rd corner, and just drops it over the top. Nice job by Sullivan.
Kreiderman bounced into the outside. And then wrestled down shy of the 45.
You know, it's funny you make the wrestling comment because look at Grayson Stevens and Luke Stanton. They're 2 defensive end, both of them. Luke Stanton finished 3rd at 215 pounds in the state wrestling championship last year. And 4th place finish at 189 was Grayson Stevens. I love those wrestlers, Shep. You know that up front, that defensive line. They're good at using their hands. They keep people off their legs. They make very good defensive linemen. Ball comes out late.
That was pretty darn close. Could have replayed that. Kreiderman stuck once and then drilled after he got loose from the first would-be tackler. You mentioned Grayson Stevens and that wrestling background helped him to 7 tackles for loss. The senior has been an impact player from his defensive end position.
Now you got to be careful here. In these 3rd mediums, they've run those outs, remember?
Yep.
Watch that double move. If he's got the defensive backs are up, you see how tight they are up now. You got to be careful for a double move. It'll be out and up.
See if Brighton can get pressure. They can't. Sullivan lofting an incomplete intended for Fordham. Kyle Duncan on the coverage.
Now we're going to take a look at Latrell Fordham. He did a little stutter and go. You're going to watch him. He's going to release outside. He get a little stutter and then takes off. What he needs to do is sell that longer. The hardest part for receivers is to become impatient. Sell it longer. Be an actor. Really raise up like you could do that outcut and then go. He just kind of raised a little and took off. He didn't give the defensive back time to slow down to react.
So it's a slow to fast.
Yeah, you start out fast, you raise like you're going to stop, and then you go. And Latrell just kind of went through a little bit quickly.
Mason McGuire will punt it away for Davison. Good snap. Pretty good punt, but they're going to wave it off. The whistle had blown. A delay a game, you think?
Prior to the play, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Well, what that penalty does, although, you know, in a situation like that, maybe you think they might fake it, but obviously they didn't because the snap did go through and the punt took place. But now you have 10 yards to go. The fake will be probably nil, and you can set up your return.
So Chandler thrower will punt it deep to Mason McGuire, 5 yards further back. The high snap off the side of his foot. Brighton takes over at their own 39. They're down 7 in Division I late in the first.
You know, it's probably hasn't set in for a lot of us. You know, we're just kind of, I've said to the boys, you know, starting early in the week, was like, enjoy every minute of it, you know, because obviously it's never happened before. You know, I don't want you guys to go through it and not experience it. So come to practice, strap up your helmet, and after that, kind of just enjoy every piece of it.
There's a man that appreciates the moment, and that's what you like to see. He appreciates it, and that transpires for his kids. It trickles down to them, and it is unbelievable. I can't imagine, Shep, playing at Newbury High School. We were 1-8, so we were only about maybe 12 wins away. But I couldn't imagine making it to this point in this setting, at this stadium. It's just incredible.
Oh, it's thrilling. It really is. And then it settles in a little bit and becomes another football game. On the quarterback keeper. The thing I love most, you'll recognize this through most of these teams. If you talk to coaches like we have, these coaches are all telling you they've made adjustments, but their push toward a championship game comes in January and February in the weight room. The dedication it takes to be studying film, but getting stronger to make you healthier during the season.
It's year-round now. All high school coaches will tell you they want multi-sport athletes. But if you're not a multi-sport athlete, you will be in the weight room. You will be doing agilities. 2nd down and 4 for Brian Lemons and the Bulldogs, trailing 7-zip. Brighton under the guidance of Colby Newberg. Newberg hurdling his way to the 46. Logan Pascoe clogging the lane. You know, Davison, we talked about, they have that luxury of with Latrell Fordham and Harrison Terry. They have that luxury, Shep, of manning you up outside. Jalen Murray Flowers. So they play man outside. That means all of a sudden you can put 7, 8 people in the box, and you take running game teams, they just can't do what they've done all year. So that being said, if you're Brighton, if you get a first down, you have to take some shots on 1st and 2nd down somewhere. Maybe you try to get the tight end in the game, because that's their weak spot. They're not as good at the safety position, Davison, as they are on the edge.
3rd and short. They've got the first down. Newberg with a good lane all the way inside the 40. Rolls his way to the 37 of Davison. A pickup of 15 on the play.
Well, this is the read. You're going to watch Newberg. Let it go. He's going to ride the back. That time he puts a fake into Nemechek, and then when he pulls it, he reads the end, takes it outside. Nice job. Look at his eyes. Yeah. Great shot of his eyes on his read. He's focused on that defensive end. When he collapses, he's going to pull it.
Good job by our camera crew to get that emotion, that look from the quarterback. 1st and 10 now for Newberg.
It's the end of the quarter.
You know it's a good game? When that quarter catches you by surprise.
That's right. I immediately looked at the snap clock, wondering if they took too much time. Here's what we do know. Time flew by in that first quarter. Davison made the most of it, but Brighton's on the move. It's a 7-0 lead for Davison in Division I. Football Week in Michigan, presented by Kroger, wraps up tomorrow at noon with the Zenith Senior All-Star Game powered by Legacy Football. Some of the finest seniors in the state of Michigan will gather in Brighton at the Legacy Sports Complex and showcase their skills for one final time as high schoolers. We'll have all the action live on Fox Sports Detroit and the Fox Sports Go app. Football Week in Michigan, supported by the Ford Fund.
I'll be tuning in, Shep, to watch you and Devin Gardner make the call out at the Legacy Center in Brighton, Michigan.
You and I enjoyed it a year ago.
We sure did.
Continues to get bigger and better. Here comes Brighton for the first play of the second quarter, trailing Davison 7-0.
First time on the plus side of the 50 for the Bulldogs.
Nemechek. Not happening. Harry Unger did a nice job of knocking down from the defensive end position.
Well, Harry Unger collapses so quickly. That's a little pull. The right guard pulls Dylan Andrews, but Davison is so quick into the gaps, they run right by his pull. They got to be a little bit quicker. I'm telling you, Harrison Unger, everyone knows Harry, as I said earlier, has been one of the big differences. He's going to be a man-child next year. He's only a junior. He will be back.
Good football body at 6'3", 230. Downfield. Did he haul that in? Is that a catch?
My.
That is unreal.
Ruben Salinas.
That's as good a catch as you'll ever see at any level.
He opens. It's behind him. He has to open up inside, and he opens and then grabs it one hand, pulls it in, grabs it with his other, and secures it. Super slow-mo. What a catch. He tips it to himself. Hey, if you win championships, when you're the underdog sometimes, as they are probably coming in today, and that's a catch. Man, great job by the officials. That was not reviewable, even if it wasn't. It's still a catch. But what unbelievable. Now they go 4 to the right. Looks for a quarterback draw. Ooh. You get delay a game.
Delay a game, yeah.
Now look this. They were going to go 4 people to the left. It's going to be 1 of 2 plays. I'm calling it right now. It's either going to be, we saw in the last game, just a quick screen and try to get numbers out there, 3 blockers in front of whoever your receiver is, or it'll be a pump fake and a quarterback draw. They're trying to get that box, fewer people defensively.
There's no penalty on the play. Reset the clock to 25 seconds.
And, oh!
Rubes, that's one of the best catches I have ever seen.
At any level. That was beautiful. Because now they had to stretch out. It was so far, he had to kind of tip it to himself. He couldn't get a whole hand on it. Now they got trips. They can just run solo on the backside. Watch one receiver side.
Right to the short side. And Newman wrapped up right away.
Man, Logan Pascal.
He is everywhere, isn't
Pascal, he just runs through. They do a good job of keeping bodies off him with their defensive front. They let him run free. We're going to get a look. He's going to come to the middle. He defeats the block. That's a really good play. You got to understand, Matt Koppel got him, but he read it so fast, he's able to get it. Is that paint off that helmet?
That's paint coming off. I don't think he wants that paint removed.
I don't know, but if you're a linebacker, that's sweet.
Yeah, he doesn't want to repaint it, I should say. He wants to keep it removed. A little misdirection. And dragging men to the 4-yard line is Mason McGuire.
You go back to feed Salinas. Now he made that great catch. The coverage was pretty good. He made a great catch. They're bringing in the big fellas. The big hosses are coming in now. So this is their jumbo look. You see Stanton coming in at tight end. If you're head coach Brian Lemons, you're thinking, okay, are we going to? We see a timeout on the field. Davison with that substitution, that late substitution by Brighton. Davison, Coach Weingarts feels, hey, I don't think we're comfortable with what we're doing here. Let's take a timeout and make sure all our ducks are in a row on this big 3rd down and 4. So
he's also thinking 2 downs here, is he not?
Well, you have to know. And that we always talk about coaching football is like playing chess. You have to think moves ahead. You just can't call this play, live for the moment, and say, oh, now it's 4th and 2. What do we do? You need to think ahead. When you call that play, your mind should be done. You should be thinking of everything that could happen. Did we get 1? Did we get 2? Did we lose 2? Did we lose 5? Think of what your next play is going to be, and that's the best way to do it. Now, in this situation, you get a roll. We talked about in the Christie game, Ruben Christie, do you roll out your quarterback? You got a pretty athletic quarterback in Newberg. It could stress his defense. But if you're going to do that, I'd find number 10, Harry Unger, and I roll the other way. This is not a knock. This is not a knock on Will Watkins. But Harry Unger is the better of the 2 defensive ends. I would boot him. They put Unger to the wide side of the field. That's what you got to decide. Or they keep him short side. Is he?
And maybe if you're throwing the ball,
roll.
Brighton's going to look toward Luke Stanton.
Yeah, Luke Stanton. Drag that tight end with him.
See what they do. They're 2 for 4 on 3rd downs.
Look at all the yellow shirts in the box. They're daring you to throw it.
Salinas, the leading receiver for Brighton. Newberg on the roll, throws it, and it is knocked down in the end zone. They were looking for their big tight end, Luke Stanton.
I told you, man, you got to count for number 10. Harry Younger, he's away. They roll away from Harry Younger, number 10, but he's going to come in here. Actually, he rolled to him. Look at the penetration he gets in the quarterback's face. He is just one of those guys. Yeah, good job. Coming in, really comes unblocked. When they released the wing and the tight end both went in the pass routes, he was unaccounted for. Forces right into a field goal attempt.
21-yard field goal attempt for Jacob Moroshinelli. Moroshinelli puts a right foot into it, and it is good. Brighton on the board. Nice snap from Ryan Doyle. Good hold from John Arndt. And Moroshinelli gets the Bulldogs to within 4. It's 7-3 at Ford Field. Brighton in the state championship for the first time. Hard to believe considering they had one of the best high school athletes this state has ever produced. That athlete is with Brooke Fletcher. Brooke.
Yeah, Matt, I'm here with the man himself, Drew Henson, proud Brighton alum. Drew, you told me that you were in New Orleans and you came in specifically for this game. How proud are you of these guys?
Well, I just couldn't be more excited for these players, their families, the school and community. It's been 21 years gone for me, and it's something they set out as a goal every year. And to see them get to this point and hopefully finish the fight today, it's just it makes me so happy for everyone.
You were a three-sport athlete at Brighton. What was your favorite memory from playing?
You know, usually it's my senior year in all those sports. Your teammates that you've gone through everything with for a long time. We were #1 in the state in my senior year, undefeated till we got beat in the playoffs. And it's those things you take away the farther you go from graduation.
You've been in these guys' shoes. If you could tell them anything, send them any message, what would you tell them?
Well, they just had a good drive right here to get on the board. They're into the second quarter. The nerves are gone. It's back to playing football and just concentrate and focus on execution in the second half.
All right, Drew, thank you so much for being with me. Matt, I'll toss it back up to you.
It's great stuff. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Brooke Rubes, you and I saw him at the major league levels for a short period of time. The Reds minor league system, then the Yankees, but we saw him in the NFL, Dallas, Detroit here for a short period of time. But high school-wise, talent-wise, pretty much tough to top what he was able to deliver as an all-stater in 3 different sports.
He could sling it. He was gifted with a naturally strong arm, very accurate, get the ball in and out in baseball. We knew what he could do as well. But football, as he said, they had undefeated season, and then they got knocked off in the playoffs. My son Drew is with us, and I just told him, he didn't know this, but part of the reason his name is Drew is when we went to name him, I thought, man, there's a lot of good Drew quarterbacks. And Drew Henson was one of them at the time because he's 21 years removed. My son is 20. And there was Drew Brees. There was one more I was trying to think of. It's one of the...
Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, right.
He could spin it. There's no question about that. Now he watches his alma mater's defense try to bottle up Brendan Sullivan. They did just that. Grayson Stevens, who Rubes had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, crashing down for the defensive end spot.
Yeah, Jake Weingart will pick and choose his spots when he wants to run any type of replay with Brendan Sullivan. Brendan Sullivan, 6'4". They list him at 190, but he's pretty thin. Now, he's a tough kid, and he's been taking some shots, but you don't want to expose someone that long and lanky yet when you know what he can do with his arm too much in the run game.
Weingart's told us Sullivan with a high football IQ stays calm and a great leader. Rolls the pocket to the short side of the field. Now surveys, he's going to run it, and he's going to stumble to the 26. Cole Riddle and Brendan Mercier in on the tackle. Riddle leads this Brighton defense with over 100 tackles now on the year. He's a senior, Mercier a junior. 3rd and 4 for Davison.
Right now, early on in the game, Brighton was playing a little bit softer coverage. Now it looks like they're playing some two-man. In other words, the safety is going to have deep halves back out, and then they're going to play tight coverage on the outside. Play clock running down.
Sullivan has to hurry. Snap is there. Delivers downfield. Got his man. Fordham, and it's a foot race, and he's going to win it. Touchdown, Davison.
Nice job. He gets a little bit of a move on the post and is able to get behind the defender. There's one thing Latrell Fordham can do, and that is float. He runs so effortlessly. Look at a little stick on the post route. And a well-thrown ball by Sullivan. And that's just a huge play.
Boy, you're right. He does run well, doesn't he? That was a 74-yard pitch and catch.
Well, Latrell Fordham, we're going to look here. The ball's going to come right in your living room, right over the top, and that's a dime. No, that's you can't drop that as a receiver. It's hard to drop it. You have to make an effort because Sullivan really put it right where it needed to be. And look at that instinct. At the very time the defender makes the leg swipe, Fordham gets up in the air and hurdles it. And that young man is happy. Been at Davison the last couple of years. He made the move to Davison, and it's paying off.
Leads the team in receiving and receiving yards, and turns in a massive play here midway through the second.
Jake Weingart's good play call there. He likes the double moves. He likes all the sluggos. And when you got someone with Fordham speed, it's nice. You got a lot of things you can do outside because defenders have to respect it.
He's also talking right now with Latrell Fordham on how you can take advantage later in the game. It's not just one type of move off that type of route. There are other things you can do. That's good coaching right there. 14-3 Davison.
Well, yards been difficult for Brighton Bulldogs to come find. Davison just got pretty easy ones there with their talented quarterback and wide receiver.
See what type of pressure that latest touchdown put on the Brighton Bulldogs. Returnable kick. Mark Picage. Couldn't find the lane. Down at the 21-yard line. So far, strong performance from the junior quarterback from Davison, Brendan Sullivan. 7 for 9, 131 yards and a touchdown to lead the Cardinals offense to an 11-point lead.
Well, you know, you talked about it's not panic time if you're Brighton, but this is not what they do. They're not a come-from-behind team per se, where they can score a lot of points. They don't really have that quick strike capability. They're a physical, grinding team that likes to possess the ball. But if anyone can make a play, Colby Newberg has proven it. And let's see here what Coach Brian Lemons has in store.
Up the gut, past the 25 to the 26, runs Sheldon Riley.
You get 7:50, so it's still in the second quarter. But you really need to put a drive together. You got a hot quarterback, some hot receivers on the other side. So if you're Brian Lemons, this is when you tell your offense and you challenge them and say, fellas, this whole game is going to be decided a lot in this next series or two, how we handle it offensively. Good teams, when they give up points, have a way of coming back, making plays, and helping out their defense.
3 wide receivers set for Colby Newberg and Brighton. First man through is Riley again. Back-to-back gives to the fullback, brings up a 3rd down and short.
You see Riley Henderson and that pile getting up there. Nice job. The 225-pound junior. This team's going to be pretty good next year, too. You look at Davison now. They're losing 3 of their top 5 players. They're losing Latrell Fordham, Harrison Terry, and they're also Caleb Smith. But they got a lot of young juniors and sophomores that are going to be back.
Quarterback plunge for Colby Newberg. Sure looks like he got enough for the first down.
That's the old make a wedge. You tell your guards, you step in towards your center, you go forward, you get up there real quick, you get underneath center, and I like that. No deep handoff, no allowance for penetration, just get in the crease. Newberg's used to handling the ball. You got a quarterback that can find that little lane.
So that's not the quarterback just goosing the center and moving forward. Everybody knows that.
I think that's predetermined in that situation. The centers know when he goes like that, you come up, the guards are going to step inside and seal as well.
You'll see that more on 4th and short, won't you, sometimes? Now out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Brighton down 11. going for a sideline bomb. And another brilliant drag made by Ruben Salinas. What an encore.
This is doing big work. Ruben Salinas, it's so funny. How prophetic was Brian Lemons. He said, we're going to have a chance today. You watch. Ruben Salinas or A.J. Lynn are going to come up big for us, and Ruben Salinas is. That's going against a pretty good cornerback in Jalen Murray Flowers, only a sophomore, but that seems like they're going after him a little bit more.
32-yard gain. Now whistle stops the play. At what point do you think Davison starts bracketing or double-teaming Ruben Salinas?
Timeout, Davison, their second of the half.
Well, I don't know if you have to double-team him. Let's not forget, those are two really good throws and really good catches. You can't expect that to happen play after play. Murray Flowers was in good position. You know, he's there a little bit late. Look at him reach, coach well, strips, tries to hit the ball. That's sometimes great offense will beat really good defense, and this is another case in that. Wow, look at him attack the ball, grab the football, don't catch the football.
When you say attack it, you mean he goes after it. He doesn't let the ball come to him.
Don't let it. I tell kids, I coach young little guys, and I work with a little bit, teach them how to catch the football. And I just said that. Hear me say catch? I said, I don't want you catching it. Grab the football. And there's times it's going to get into your body in certain situations, but anytime you can reach out and grab it, use your arms as a shock absorber. So when you grab with your hands, when your body gets hit, it's not going to just squirt away as it would if you're catching your body.
Or the novice football fan may say this. He's just made two brilliant grabs.
Yeah.
Why don't you keep throwing it to him, right?
Well, they will.
Sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, I said, you teed this up by saying he made two brilliant grabs. I don't care who you are. You can't continue to make brilliant after brilliant. As you do, you make a lot of money playing here, not in high school. It's called the NFL. But they are trying to soften. If you can keep doing that, it's going to soften up. But you see all these shirts in here. You're trying to loosen that up a little bit. Because then if you can loosen that up, you have a better chance to run.
Nemechek bounced off one tackle. Able to surge forward for a couple of heavy yards.
That's a pretty good run. I mean, that stop, Nemechek was stopped on the handoff about a yard in the backfield. He was able to just bounce it, keep his legs going and slide and pick up 2 yards, which is nice. That's a positive play. Avoid those negative ones. I know I say that and people say, well, no, what do you think? You want to get negative plays? I know you don't want to get negative plays, but you can lower your risk by the plays you call.
Jay Davison made the tackle. Davison team has had a ton
up here now. Look at him bailing at the last minute. Now, see him looking outside. That's pure man.
Rubick will throw. Wants his man downfield, and it is incomplete.
That's
looking for Salinas again.
Yeah, Newberg threw him covered. When I say threw him covered, he threw it out of bounds. There's no way he's going to be able to make that catch. He almost makes an unbelievable catch, but even if he comes on with this ball, look at the cover. Now, that's Latrell Fordham.
Right.
Wow, he pulled that in. Look at a great angle. Let's see, Fordham comes down, face and shoulder both. That's huge for Davison right now.
Boy, what a matchup that is, huh? Those two special athletes.
Well, you see they had Jalen Murray Flowers on him. Defensively, you know, head coach Jake Weingart's probably talked to DC a little bit and said, hey, I don't like that. We got to get a bigger, taller body. You know, Fordham stands 6'3". That's been the difference of their season when they moved him out defensively. Now they just load the box.
Fordham now down, though, because of that play. So there's some
but
concern for Davison.
I know, but it's a final game of the year. You can't try to save people. Look at Ruben Salinas, the first one to open up the body, reach back one hand, tip it to yourself catch. We practice that all the time. And then he goes up and grabs it around Jalen Murray Flowers. Just really, really attacks the ball.
Both these two teams can throw the football. They're not afraid to be able to do something like that. If they're in that situation, Fordham, good to see him get up. Let's hope he can come back.
Well,
you want to see good players, but
if he can, that really limits what you can do. You know, when they lost De La Salle this year, he did not play. And they got shut out 22-0. I'm talking to Coach Weingartz, and I remember when I talked to him after that game, he said, yeah, we didn't have Latrell. I'm like, okay, you didn't have a player, so what? Well, you can see against a team what he does for you on both sides of the football. He gives you the quick strike opportunity offensively to throw the fade and go and get it, and defensively he can take your best receiver out of the game.
Told you both these teams like to throw it and can throw it, and that's what they're doing here today. Sullivan's got that touchdown throw on the last drive, and now Colby Newberg and Brighton are trying to respond. It's a 3rd down and 8 for him.
Well, I think you're in 4-down territories. You don't have to get all 8 here. You don't have to pen it. You can still implement the run.
Swing out Nick Nemechek. They throw a slip screen, and it's intercepted. Gabe Smith read it perfectly and had a little good fortune for his first pick of the year.
Interesting call. They just try to run like a little quick screen outside. It goes right through the hands. And you're going to see it here. That's a tough catch coming back to the ball that time. That ball was really zinged. And Billick just couldn't come up with it. It goes through his hands and right into the hands of Gabe Smith. And that's a huge turnaround now. But if you are Brighton, you do have going for you. Latrell Forden will not be in. I would be shocked if he's in on this series.
17 interceptions for Davison this season. Davison up 14-3 and looking for more. An inside handoff for Harrison Terry. Dragged down shy of the 50 by Carson Billick.
A little bit different look. They went trips to the wide side, used a little jet motion, tried to attack the left edge quickly, get Harrison Terry the ball with speed. Good job by Billy getting up, but still on 1st down. That's a 6-yard gain. You will take that. That's a winning play on 1st down. Watch, look for a run here in this situation. A little toss.
Toss to Kreiderman. Slips his way inside the 45 for a 1st down.
Early in the year, Caleb Smith, number 17, was the running back. He was a bigger back, maybe a little bit more powerful. But since they've gone to Carter Kreiderman, he's shiftier. He can make people miss. And you see this quick toss. They get the ball in the perimeter. Nice job blocking at the point of attack. And then he's just going to make people miss. He can start and stop. You see Harry Unger, number 10, with a good block. Carter Kreiderman. Davison right now stopped and changing the football. I'm not sure why they didn't have theirs in there. Maybe after the interception, no one let them know, and they were still playing with Brighton's football. And people need to realize is you bring your own, you play with the one that you like. That you use in practice.
Listen, for a quarterback, that's particular. That's like a famous billiard player using somebody else's stick. You don't want that. That's a golfer using somebody else's putter. You just don't want to do that. Sullivan, home run ball. Terry's got it inside the 10. Oh, baby, what a throw and catch.
Well, before we talked about the catch, and this is a good catch. But, fellas, that is a dime. And you know what? A little better catch than I thought. Yeah. No, that's not replayable.
Right.
Because I'm not sure if that was replayable. It looks like it came out loose on the back end. But you know what? It's a catch because they're lining up and they're playing another down.
It's 1st and goal from the 5. Kreiderman slips his way close to the end zone.
Well, let me take one more shot here of this catch by Harrison Terry. But what a beautiful ball by Brendan Sullivan. Pretty good defense. It's kind of, you know, on that view, it looked a little bit better.
Inside give, Kreiderman, second effort, breaks the goal line. Touchdown, Davison.
Well, Carter Kreiderman, I talked about it early in this drive. He has really been a nice complementary back to Caleb Smith and lets Caleb play more defense. And this is just a pretty good job up front, but Kreiderman finding a little bit of a crease using that light drive and kind of going back in end zone backwards. But Touchdown, it'll be reviewed here, as all scoring plays can be, as well as turnovers.
Following the big fellas in the middle, Lucas Edgar, the left guard, C.J. Brady, the center, and Cam Hunt, the right guard. Confirmed as a touchdown. And the extra point by Rhodes is up and through. Another impressive drive by Davison. 5 plays, 57 yards, and it's a 21-3 lead.
The conversion attempt is good.
We have one of the best kept secrets in the state as far as community support and, you know, just everybody having each other's back. Very blue collar community, and we're going to go out there and play blue collar today.
You know, blue collar football to us is just grinding every day, playing really hard, you know, playing with that chip on your shoulder, and just doing what we do at our best.
That was Coach Weingartz talking about how his team was going to play today. And like we've talked about, nobody was expecting this team to make it this far, but he said that wasn't the case for them. They've been planning on this since January to not only make it here, Matt, but to win this game. And I'd say they're off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, very impressive start for them, Brooke. There's no question. He told us they've always had a pretty good football culture there and tough kids, but had to get them to buy into the family team mentality. Name on the front of the jersey. It's whether you win and whether you play for the man next to you. It's not as important about the name on the back. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but it is so very true. Here comes Brighton on the kickoff. And a fumble, but the Bulldogs able to recover.
Well, let's go back to that last drive, too. Let's not forget, Brighton was moving the ball a little bit. They're on the plus side of the 50. And they had a little quick pass out to Billig. It went through his hands. It was a turnover. I mean, it's a 14-3 game. Brighton go down. Even if they get, let's say they settle for a field goal, it's a 14-6 game. But the whole complexity changed with the interception and then the ability of Davison to capitalize on it and move down the field and score.
3:45 left to go in this opening half. Big drive for Colby Newberg and the Brighton Bulldogs. They need some points here. Nick Nemechek, the lone tailback. 4 wide receivers set. Newberg will keep it. A couple of tough yards. Stay with us at the half. A special look at how the MHSAA coaches and players across the state are combating concussion. Fascinating look at all the progress that's being made. You're going to want to see that story. Plus, a look at the D7 championship game earlier today. It was a defensive battle. Muskegon, or I should say Jackson Lumen Christie, was gunning for Pewamo Westphalia, and Pewamo Westphalia won their second consecutive, or their third title, I should say, in the last 4 years. 5 champions crowned thus far on Football Week in Michigan.
Well, as a timeout. Play clock is running down. Brian Lim is forced to use the timeout here. This is important now. It's a 21-3 game, and I know it seems pretty dire right now if you're a Brighton Bulldog fan. But there's still 2:58.5. This is Division I football. You can make plays. You can get down the field. What's really imperative is if you don't score here, you cannot allow in the next 3 minutes Davison to score.
What do you think he's most disappointed with in the first half so far? Besides the obvious, 21-3.
They're close. You know, the big pass to Ford, it was close. The catch by Harrison Terry, it was close. Offensively, the ball that goes through his receivers and Billig's hands, they're close. It's not like they're way behind. They're just not making plays. And the people in the yellow or mustard, whatever color that is, they're making plays. It's just a little bit different. I'm not saying he's outmanned. But I think that the biggest difference is the quarterback play, and the ability to throw the ball and make big plays with the quarterback and the receivers for Davison.
Well, he told us they really needed to possess the football, and they really have not been able, save for one, sustain many drives. It was key for them in beating Belleville, where they possessed the football for 30 minutes and 45 seconds. That's incredible. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. Newberg wants to throw. From the pocket, just for a moment. Good escapability. Now he'll run with it. He's got some room and some moves. Past midfield into Davison territory. What a hard-earned run before Logan Pascoe grabbed him and threw him down.
As I saw in Happy Gilmore, they said, Happy learned to putt right here. Caleb Newberg is fast. I didn't know he could run like this. I guess fear is a great motivator. As he gets outside the pocket, he cuts right, he cuts left. He's been physical the whole game, breaks the tackle. You know what? That's when your players need to step up. He just did. That young man, his offense has been struggling. He got in the open field, broke a nice tackle there, and all of a sudden you're on the plus side of the 50 with still 2:30 and counting here in the first half. You got time to get some points.
Picked up 26, but he's out. John Arndt is now under center for Brighton. And Davison knew he was going to hand it off to Nick Nemechek. You bring in a quarterback that doesn't have a ton of snaps, just a sophomore, and John Arndt, and you know they're going to be relatively conservative with him on play number 1, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. In this situation, maybe Brian Lemons might have thought right after that play was done of taking a timeout. It'd be his last one, but you really need to get number 12 in the game here. Arndt's going to step up and try to do it. Now, it looks like they're in a passing set.
He's only thrown 18 passes all season, Rubes. They'll throw here. Blitz comes. They pick it up. Oh, what a grab. Inside the 30. Luke Stanton using all of his 6'4" frame.
And what a throw. And what a throw. Arndt comes into the game, stands tall in the pocket, under pressure. Now wobble a little bit, but it's exactly where it needs to be. And big number 6, Luke Stanton, goes up and makes the... How about the confidence Brian Lemons has in his backup quarterback? Let him come in and sling the ball.
Rubes, these Brighton receivers got something going on, don't they?
Outstanding.
Fun to watch.
They got a kind of a little more urgency. The clock is winding.
Yep. 9 seconds to get the snap away. On a 1st and 10 for Arndt. Pressure comes. Down he goes. Harry Younger, the first to breathe down his neck, and then cleaned up by Will Watkins.
Logan Pascoe was there too, and that's what happens. You get a quarterback who's new. He's really got to set and throw this ball, even if it's not wide open. You're going to see when he sets right now. Let's throw it right in there. You got a little time in the pocket. You got to get rid of it. Instead, you know this is a state championship game. Those guys in the mustard color uniforms over, they can run, and they're going to get at you. Now, it's 3rd down and a boatload here.
Colby Newberg is back in at quarterback for Brighton on a 2nd and 25. Newberg feeling the pressure. Down he goes. Oh, Davison is just pinning their ears back, and it's a 2nd straight sack for Will Watkins.
The clock winding down now. I think Brighton may just go in, lick their wounds. Their quarterback got nicked. Dave's actually got away with a pretty good takedown there. Jack Cataldo with a takedown on Riley Henderson.
That's it for the half.
Now the officials signaling that Brighton took a timeout.
Did he try to call timeout? Did they grant him? Yes, they did. All right. Timeout for Brian Lemons and Brighton. So they'll put 2 seconds back on the clock and give them 1 chance at a Hail Mary.
Well, this is the situation where you're in practice. You have a competition Monday. You line everyone up and say, who can throw the ball the farthest? I don't care if you're a lineman, if you're a linebacker or tight, whatever. The guy that can heave the ball the farthest, you might want to put him in here because you're going to have to throw it probably 50 yards if you can do a Hail Mary to get in the end zone. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but for a high school kid, it is.
And let's just remind our audience about where, if there is a pass interference call, where that flag puts the
15.
football.
It's not a spot foul.
I would guess you'd want to throw it in the neighborhood of one Ruben Salinas or Luke Stanton.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Now, what Davison's going to do is it looks like they're only going to rush 3. I would be shocked if they don't bring Pascal, number 35 on the linebacker, bring him 2 on a blitz.
They bring 4. Newberg scrambling, heaving it as far as he can. He's got a couple of men down there, and it's incomplete.
I thought he caught it.
That was close. In the vicinity of both Stanton and Salinas, who remains down.
Oh, that would be a shame. It looks like we've already lost Latrell Fordham, who got hurt on a play. Oh, that's a wind job, I think, there. See how he landed right on his back? Hopefully that's just getting the wind knocked out of you. Ruben Salinas, what an effort.
What an effort by Davison in the first half. Impressive on both sides of the football. And they have a 21-3 lead at halftime over Brighton in this Division I championship matchup. They set the tone with their defense early, and Jake Weingarts has to be pleased about the way his team has come out here to perform. Let's hear what he has to say with our Brooke Fletcher. Brooke?
Coach, you said earlier this week it was important to carry the momentum early on. You guys had the lead going into half. How do you keep this momentum going?
You know, we got to play like it's 0-0. This is a great football team we're playing against. They got big play capability, so we got to keep their playmakers in front of us and continue to hammer out drives on offense, and then when your number gets called, make a big play. We had some big plays in the first half to get us down in the scoring zone, so we got to keep it up, but it's going to be a four-quarter game. We got to dial in 0-0 and go out and play Davison football.
You mentioned big plays. Brendan Sullivan had a great first half. What's going to be your message to him at halftime?
Yeah, you know, he probably didn't have the best week of his life last week, and he was determined all week that he was going to come out and play a game, and obviously up to this point he has, and we still got a long way to go, but he's doing well.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Matt, back to you.
All right, Brooke, thanks. He'd love a repeat performance of the first half. We saw some highlight reel catches by Ruben Salinas and Luke Stanton and Latrell Fordham. In the end, it was Davison's defense that kind of set the tempo. The offense helped out, and they lead it 21-3 at the break on Football Week in Michigan on Fox Sports Detroit.
Welcome back to Ford Field. Davison leads 21-3 at the half. Groups all across the state of Michigan are doing their part to assure football be safer for players and coaches, from differently tackling techniques to different equipment to even changing the rules. Creating a safer game is the top priority. Now let's take a look on how they're doing it.
The Safer Game. Chapter 1, the League. This is Mark. He works for the MHSAA to make sure all teams play by the same rules.
The biggest change in football over the years is I think a lot of us have this idea of the old Bear Bryant days and the Junction Boys, to where football practice was 3 hours of full scrimmage. It was full contact. Really, the game has changed dramatically from that practice sense to where there's so much more teaching and instruction that now goes on. So we're now in our 5th year of having contact limitations during football practice. Really have followed the models of both the NFL as well as the NCAA, to where the amount of full contact in the practice we now limit. We added some new limitations this past summer. So what we have done is we've set some limits for full live contact. That's when players are taken all the way to the ground. Because concussions just don't happen when it's one player hitting another. We found that almost 20% of the concussions happened when a player contacted the ground. Equipment, coaching, kids getting themselves prepared, rules, the way that the game is being called, moms and dads being aware of the signs and symptoms of concussions. There's never been a more safe time to play the game of football than 2019.
Chapter 2, the Head Coach. Meet Ron. These days, you'll find him on the sidelines for West Bloomfield High School. But before that, he was catching touchdowns on the biggest stage of them all, the NFL.
I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and my family and I decided that the University of Michigan was the best choice for me. Had a great career at Michigan, and afterwards, signed in Miami with the Dolphins, played 2 years in Miami, and Detroit picked me up, and I played 2 years with the Detroit Lions. And when I got to the NFL, I had a concussion that was severe concussion, and that was the first time in my life that I ever experienced what a true concussion was. And it's something that, I said if I have an opportunity to work with other people, and I wanted to educate them on how to make the game better and safer. I'm a master trainer with USA Football, heads-up football. So I fly around the country doing different clinics, teaching coaches how to coach essentially, and just teaching them about the game of football, different things associated with concussions and control associated with player health. As a coach, it's our honor, it's our duty to not be negligent to these kids, these young adolescents, and the same, when in doubt, sit them out. So we want to be a step ahead of the game, and I think the biggest thing is just educating the kids on, what it feels like, what are the signs and symptoms, and I think it's worked well for us.
Chapter 3, the equipment guys. Hi, Grant.
We met Grant at the Zenith Testing Lab in downtown Detroit, where he brings new equipment concepts to life.
Athlete protection is at the forefront of what we do here at Zenith. Certainly the product is kind of front and center, but it starts well before that. The Shadow it came out in 2019. It's really a great evolution of our core technology. One is the shock absorber, which really manages energy across that range of impacts. The second is how the matrix that we call it, which is cinched to the head, is kind of disconnected in some ways to allow that independent motion of the head and the hit. And the third, which is quite unique to Zenith, is the way the chin strap actually routes around behind the head. You actually get this great sort of 360-degree fit, and it really kind of locks down on the athlete's occipital bone in the back of their head and really provides a great custom sort of adaptive fit. The primary sort of benchmark or test that the helmets are subjected to is a certification, and that's really a drop test. And as of November of this year, we'll actually include the equipment that you see behind me that look at velocity of the head, rotation of the head, and so forth. So we're simulating different varieties of material properties. Then you get hands-on. You build it up. We can test it here physically, collect some data, and kind of continue that process.
All right, well, we're going to test this, right?
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
So
So how hard was that hit, would you say?
It's a fairly aggressive impact. So that's at the higher end of kind of what the test actually assesses.
Oh my gosh.
So that's about 9.4 meters per second. That's really the kind of the top of what the NFL actually tests to. Well, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of pride in seeing it on the field on, Sundays and Mondays, but also at the Friday Night Lights game. So yeah, we have a lot of pride in what we do, and kind of elevating that athlete's pursuit and really promoting the benefits of the sport as well is really important to us.
I think it's just important to, that everyone understands the importance of concussion awareness and knowing what are the signs and symptoms. When they get to high school, they understand if their youth level coaches are doing it, over the course of time, we are making the game better and safer.
The collegiate level is celebrating their 150th anniversary this year, and we want to do what we can at the high school level to make sure that this game continues to grow, continues to stay strong. So hopefully 50 years from now, we're all celebrating the 200th anniversary of when that first game was played.
It's great to see what the MHSAA is doing to assure a safer game of football. Now, be sure to tune in to the Division 5 halftime, where we're going to be showing another part of this segment that's demonstrating new tackling techniques. Much more to come from here at Ford Field. Latrell Fordham with the huge catch to help Davison get the 21-3 lead going into half. Much more to come from Ford Field. Matt Shepard and Rob Rubick with more when we return.
Davison's Cardinals playing like they've been here before. They're up 21-3 at the half in the Division I state championship game. Earlier today, we crowned Pewamo, Westphalia as the champion. Just before the half, what a grab by Aaron Beers. We've seen some spectacular catches in this series so far over the last day and a half, and that was one of them. Boy, how they use their strength of their strong running.
Well, yeah, Carter Thalen, he kind of piggybacks on that great catch by Aaron Beers. And it's a shame Walker Plate was in pretty good coverage there. They find backup Jackson Lumen Christie. But PW's defense just too much. 14-0, throwing the shadow against the Lumen Christie Titans. And we got a 21-3 halftime lead here. But let's not forget, late coming on,
Later on tonight, we got the Devin Gardner making his appearance. Now, what timing? What timing as I feel someone hit me in the back. Going to be calling the games with our own Johnny Kane here tonight. Lansing Catholic versus Elmont, the 4:30 game, a 13-0 and 12-1 team in Shep. Maybe one of the marquee matches, Rouge and Muskegon finishing off at 7:30.
That Cameron Martinez kid is a special player.
Gotta watch. Must see TV, baby.
Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to watch the second half. Davison has a 21-3 lead. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Ford Motor Company, strengthening communities and making lives better. And by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family is not just our name, it's the way we do business. It's 21-3 at the half. Davison leads Brighton in the Division I State Championship game. Football Week in Michigan presented by Kroger wraps up tomorrow at noon with the Zenith Senior All-Star Game powered by Legacy Football. Some of the finest seniors in the state of Michigan will gather in Brighton at the Legacy Sports Complex and showcase their skills for one final time. High schoolers, hope you can join us. All the action live on Fox Sports Detroit and the Fox Sports Go app. Football Week in Michigan, supported by the Ford Fund. Davison scored once in the first quarter, twice in the second quarter. Their quarterback, Brendan Sullivan, has had a fine performance so far. He and his team lead 21-3 and get the football to start the third.
Hey, listen! We gotta go! What's the score? 0-0. What's the score? 0-0. Now, take care of the football. Defense. Don't let one behind you. Gentlemen, all you gotta give me is 24 minutes. All right, go. Let's go.
Excited to see what they have left in that second half. Excited to see what Brian Lemons will do with his Brighton club. He'll talk about it right now with our Brooke Fletcher. Brooke?
Coach, Davison's offense has been tough, holding you guys to only 3 points. What adjustments does your offense need to make in the second half?
Well, we just got to clean things up front. You know, we're not having a lot of success in our interior offensive line. If we clean it up, we might be able to move the ball a little bit more consistent.
Brendan Sullivan had a big first half. What do you need to see from your D to contain him?
You know, our guys have to make plays when those situations arrive. We put them out there a little bit on the island, and we're going to fix some things up for here.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Matt, back to you.
Brooke, thank you very much. And Davison has a chance to add to their lead. They'll get the football to start the third quarter. Like the message from Jake Weingartz where he says, what's the score? And every kid in that locker room, 0-0. Do not get comfortable,
it's
right?
very cliche-ish, but it's so true. And that's why cliches are true. You want your kids to come out now. Hopefully they're not just giving a lip service, so they believe it, Shep. And if you can get them to buy into that, you're going to get a much better performance out of your squad in the third quarter.
Well, you just don't want your guys to get comfortable, right? Even though their first half of football looked very comfortable. Started to spread it out and stretch it out a little bit.
The statistics are not quite as lopsided as score. It's just what Davison's done. Only 22 plays, but they've been very efficient with those 22 plays and what they've accomplished. Brighton's had more plays in the time of possession. We always talk about deceiving stats are those. Now, we are privy to them. These aren't the ones you're seeing on your screen, but third down conversions, 3 for 8. Overall, it really hasn't been that lopsided, but just a couple big plays Davison was able to make, and they made them.
9.5 yards per play. Let's see what they do on the first play of the third. Brendan Sullivan chased from the pocket, slip screen. There's some room to run, and all the way past the 40 rolls Jalen Murray Flowers, his first catch of the day.
Well, this is a little bit of an ad-lib play. As Brendan Sullivan, he's going to get forced out of the pocket a little bit to his left. And Jalen Murray Flowers is he's going to work back in, Shep. As you can see him run back. And you're right, it is a slip screen, but he works his way to it because both inside receivers kick out. When both inside receivers are blocking out, the outside guy comes in, gets underneath the defensive coverage.
Sullivan to throw again, knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Number 6, Luke Stanton. Pressure, that's an RPO, run-pass option on the ball fake. You read the hang linebacker if you're the quarterback, and if he comes down,
You're going to throw behind it. If he drops off, you're going to give it on the run.
2nd down and 10 now for Davison.
Really one of the first times that Sullivan has been pressured. But they do a lot of quick passing. Even their deep stuff, you remember, it's kind of set and use your arm and throw it, let him run underneath it.
Yeah, that one play to Jalen Murray Flowers was worth 20. Now Sullivan dumps it underneath. Another nice opportunity here for a big play. And crawling his way into Brighton territory was Logan Pascoe for a 1st down.
Well, you're going to see him come and chip on the edge. You see, he chips the outside linebacker because all day when you run power, he's kicking him out. He's kicking him out. Then all of a sudden, he attacks, and then he slips him and goes into the flat. That's a bread and butter play of Jake Weingart's right there now. You'll see that. I'm surprised that's really the first time we've seen that.
Another 1st down for him. Caleb Smith, the lone setback. He's got it. Feeling his way back to the line of scrimmage. We had mentioned the big play capability of Davison. They have a couple of plays today where 20 yards or more. Coming into the game today, they had 92 plays on the year of 20 yards or more. That's a lot for an 11-2 team here in Division I. Second and 9. Carter Kreiderman in at the tailback spot. Sullivan wants to throw. Got his man. It's Harrison Terry, who's become the #1 option now because of the injury to Latrell Fordham.
Yeah, Fordham's not going to come back. This is just an out. Pretty simple catch and toss. You see Terry on the bottom. Drifts up the field a little bit. That's just a well-thrown ball.
3rd and short.
Tough to defend. He's going to throw, watch the deep ball here. Keep an eye on the bottom side. Let's see if they go up top.
Good curl route.
Double move.
1st down.
I think that's. I'm sorry, Matt.
It's all right. It's a 1st down for Harrison Terry.
I just kind of watching the silence. Sometimes what they'll do is it'll convert to a go route. They'll run the hitch. If the corner bails, they'll snap it off on a fade. For some reason, I saw Coach Weingart's kind of motion to his quarterback to look down here. So they end up just throwing the hitch route, but they get the 1st down, which I like better. I mean, you throw the fade, that's a big risk play.
How much of that sets up for a stop and go or a curl and go later on in the game?
In the passing game right now, he's pretty much doing what he wants. I like that way he came out with the opening, the slip screen to start, and now he's going back and doing a quick hitch and an out as well.
1st down call, he'll call his own number. Runs over a man and spun around at the 29. You can see the confidence in which Davison plays a gain of 7.
Well, you're not going to see this a lot. Brendan Sullivan is not known for running people over. He kind of bounces off. He is known for being extremely fast. He's much faster than people think. He's tall and lanky, and he's able to put his kind of lower his hip a little bit and mark Pacage rather couldn't make the tackle.
Kreiderman slipped through one tackle, moved the pile to the 25. That's a 1st down run for the junior at 5'11", $188.
A lot of this battery will be back next year. Brendan Sullivan, Carter Kreiderman, the running back, Jalen Murray Flowers outside. They will lose Harrison Terry as well as Latrell Fordham, which will be a big loss for Davison. But
Rubes, they lose just one offensive lineman as well.
Right, a lot of that offensive line. That is not the strength of this team this year. But next year, when you get all these young guys you kind of grow up with, then all of a sudden next year you should be a lot better up front.
1st and 10. Quick curl route. Terry swims his way inside the 10-yard line.
I'll show you what they're going to do here. It's like a fade stop. They have an option. Now we're trying to go up tempo here. We get a chance to show the replay. It depends on where the corner is playing the wide receiver. If they're playing soft, they're just going to throw the stop. If they come up and play press, they're going to run the fade against it. That time they're just playing off, and That's the second time in this drive they just ran that stop route.
Settling down now at 1st and goal for Davison. Opening drive of the 3rd. Good play action, and a slant route is covered well. Incomplete. Good job by Carson Billig on the coverage of Harrison Terry.
That's just a 6-foot sophomore in Carson Billig. As you said, Harrison Terry was able to get inside. Billig did a nice job of reaching around and stripping the ball through the ball without hanging on the receiver and creating a pass interference.
Good numbers for Sullivan and a little bit more than a half. 11th play of the drive. Sullivan on play action. He'll keep it. He's got it. Touchdown!
We talked a little bit in this drive, and I told you, Shep, he's fast. And I've seen this. This is not the first time I've seen this movie this year. He gets outside the pocket in a really good presence. He feels widening of the defense. He sees a lane open up. He's not going to force the ball in, and he trusts his skills, and he knows his speed, and he really goes in untouched.
Trenton Rhodes on for the extra point. Perfect. And a perfect way for Davison to start the 3rd. Their offense picks up where it left off. This time, they travel 80 yards in 11 plays, capped off by their quarterback's 2nd touchdown run of the afternoon.
Welcome back to Ford Field. The Cardinals lead the Bulldogs 28-3. Latrell Fordham had a huge first half, but on that last play before halftime, he looked like he landed on his back wrong. At halftime, doctors told him that he was a no-go for the second half. Now, as you can see, he was on the sidelines. He's without his pads. His arm is in a sling. We're not really sure what the injury is, but I'll keep you posted as we get updates, Matt.
Okay, Brooke, thanks very much. Now arm in a sling there for the Davison talented wide receiver. And as big a blow as that may be, you see the impact he had. Davison's offense has been able to pick up and cover up for him.
Yeah, they're pretty much doing what they want, especially in the passing game. They've had a couple runs decent inside that has allowed them to make Brighton kind of play off a little bit and open up some creases.
A short kick. Where we run back to the 22-yard line. By Mason McGuire.
Well, let's talk a little bit now, Shep. Okay. Things have changed for head coach Brian Lemons and his staff.
Big time.
It's not the way things used to be. It's not status quo. You have to pretty much take your offensive game plan, crumble it up, throw it in the wastebaskets. You're down 28-3 against a team that you're having a hard time stopping right now, so you need touchdowns. And you don't have time to ground and pound the ball down the field in a 7-8 minute drive. They're going to have to go to the air more, try to get some matchups outside, and deliver the ball.
See if they can do just that. It'll test Colby Newberg and his passing ability, although they start on the ground with Sheldon Riley. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to throw the ball downfield if you're Brighton, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so
it's a 4-possession game.
At what point do you do that? You're at almost 7.5 to go in the 3rd. Not that you want to panic at all, but you do have to have a sense of urgency and understanding of the situation.
Well, here's the thing. You can continue to slip runs in there, but you have to really become, in my opinion, a pass-first team right now.
Okay.
You need chunk plays, and you're unable to get in the run game. Now, if you start throwing some success, then slip a run in.
Newberg will run. Tripped up. Logan Pascoe has been unblockable today.
You know, he was, I believe last time I heard, he was offered heading to Youngstown State, FBS or FCS school. I call him 1AA, Youngstown State. Logan Pascoe.
Yeah. Good program.
Something looks like they may be in concussion protocol there.
Bo Pelini, the head coach at Youngstown State, right?
Former Nebraska.
Yeah, that's right. It's 3rd down and 7. This is a must for Brighton. And a timeout for Davison. 6:38 left in the third. Davison starting to pull away a little bit. Big second quarter, big first third quarter drive, and they're up by 25 on Fox Sports Detroit.
I think it really made us grow up. It made us a lot tougher. Obviously, the kids have faced adversity before, and you can see round one against Romeo, we're down 21-7, and nobody panicked. Last week, nobody panicked. So I think those losses are the best things that happened to us throughout the year.
Well, you know, I'm not going to speak on Coach Weingardt's behalf, but I was at both the Lapeer games this year, and the first one, he took tough. I mean, he got punched in the face. His kids got punched in the face at Davison. But as he said there, that might have been the best thing that happened, because then he came out in the playoff game and his kids played much better when he avenged the first loss to Lapeer, and they were able to beat him at Lapeer in the second round. So sometimes losing can be helpful. In that case for Davison, it looks like it has been.
Third and long, blitz coming. Newberg running for his life, and down he goes.
Maybe we can get a face mask.
Yep. Peyton Pizzala came up from his safety spot, but he might have got a little bit of cage, too.
I think Kobe Newberg helps the official's decision to make sure they saw it. Definitely the way his head turns, we'll get a really good look here. That's Pizzala. He's going to grab him by the mask, and that is a no-brainer.
Defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of that run. We saw the play, a first down.
Just a closing thought on what Jake Weingartz was saying, learning. What else he learned while he was the head coach at Lapeer East and then the assistant coach at Lapeer High School is that you don't make things anything bigger than they truly are. It's what he learned in his time there with the Lapeer football program, and that's why his kids, he feels, have been able to shake off the 2 losses this season and been able to respond. First and 10 ball on the ground. Here's a big play Brighton needed. Riley. Oh, tripped up at the 5-yard line.
Caleb Smith able to run him down, never gave up. Your hats off to number 17, but Riley's able to pop free. They've been kind of testing the waters all day, and that's just the power. They pull offside, guard and tackle, they kick out, and Riley gets into it. And Caleb Smith showing great effort, runs him down, but Sheldon Riley, the 6'1", 185-pound junior, he's like, okay, comes through both hands on the ball, protecting it, and he gets free. He takes off and gets tripped up now. Can Brighton finish the drive?
Brighton with a 58-yard run from Riley there. An inside give on the field, going nowhere but backwards. Flag on the play as they unpile.
That was Will Watkins coming up, making a nice play from his defensive end position, 95, 6'1", 210-pound junior.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, defense, half the distance to the goal, and a down counted, it'll be second down.
Boy, when you're up 28-3, there's really no excuse for that.
Yeah, you got to be smart. Guaranteed Jake Weingartz will not be happy when he finds out whoever made that penalty on the sideline, on the field. When they get over the sideline, you have to deal with a little bit of his wrath. Because as you said, no, it's a 2-yard penalty. It's not automatic first down, so it still sets up a second down situation.
Luke Stanton taking the snap, getting down to the 1.5-yard line.
And every time they run a play here in this drive, Shep, you're losing about 25, 30 seconds. Right. And I said this is a 4-possession game, so even if they go in and score here, you're still 3 possessions down, and it's, you know, approaching 5 minutes here in the third quarter. You need a little bit more sense of urgency.
Newberg back in at quarterback now. Quickly under center. Quarterback sneak. Davison read it all the way.
That's going to set up a 4th and 1.
So here's the question you and I always talk about. We watch a lot of football together, right? You see everybody bunched in like that.
Yes.
defenses are you going to sell out?
Yes, everyone's burying. I tell you, if you come out there with a two-back set under center and you ball fake the over the middle, that quarterback puts on his hip.
Thank you.
He can backpedal in the end zone.
That's where I was going. Everybody's selling out. You got to take the chance if you're a defensive player. Bootlegging. Newberg. Nemechek. Touchdown, Brighton.
Well, Nick Nemechek's going to get it in the end zone. They tried the middle wasn't working, so they said, let's go off tackle. It's going to go right through here. A good job at the point. They get a lot of bodies there. And they get it into the end zone. So Nick Nemechek, they were persistent. They weren't going to roll. They weren't going to throw, but they just kept pounding it inside and finally found a crease and able to get it in. I think in this situation, it doesn't really benefit you to go for two because it makes it still a three-possession game. Would make it 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, and a field goal. Maybe you want to get as many points as you can right now.
Maybe your offense is in a groove. Maybe you feel like you're in a rhythm. Quarterback draw. Last surge, got him.
Well, we're going to see. It looks like they had him stop. He kind of spins off at the very last minute. It looks like his knee might have touched. Obviously, that's reviewable, any scoring play. And we're going to look here. He's going to try to go to the right a little bit. Nothing there. He bounces, keeps the legs driving, and no question, he never was on the ground. He was on top of, he was on top of Riley Henderson, number 15, a little bit. So that's going to be a good job getting help from your friends. Big Brad Luketic gave him a little push into the end zone. So that's going to count. So it's going to make it a 28-11 game and still a 4-14. Now, this is where you're Brian Lemons. You tell your defense, if you get us a 3-and-out here, all of a sudden, we can put a lot of pressure on
life,
Davis,
don't
and you have some life.
Yep. Suddenly, you start to feel like this is something we faced before, and we can do this.
Orange faithful are getting excited. Great crowd on both sides.
Great shot from the sky cam, huh? Isn't that beautiful?
Big fan of the sky cam.
Jacob Morrishinelli will kick it away. Right foot into it. Fielded shy of the 25. Good downfield coverage by Brighton special teamers. Time now for the Menards big money moment. It's the drive chart that Davison has been able to put together. Their last 3 drives have ended up in the end zone.
Yeah, he actually looked Shep 4 out of 5 even. So they've been very, very productive offensively. No field goals, touchdowns. Well, still with just over 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. This is a key drive in the sense that if Davison starts putting a few first downs together, and it's still a 3-possession game, it's going to be a difficult task. But if you get a quick 3-out and get points, then everything kind of starts to change a little bit where the pressure might fall on Davison a little bit.
This is Caleb Smith, and he's not going to go anywhere. Stanton and Stevens leading the way. Boy, you gotta love the way number 6 and White's played today.
Yeah. Now let's get inside Davison a little bit and Jake Weingart's head. He's got to be thinking, all right, we really haven't run the ball that well. Our passing game's been really efficient. That being said, you're deep in your own territory. Interception in this situation could really flip things.
Behind the sticks, it's 2nd and 11. On the roll through the hands of his intended receiver, Harry Unger.
Just that little bit of pressure that a touchdown by Brighton puts on you, everything becomes a little bit tougher. Nice job. And this is where, as a head coach, you have a junior quarterback, but you have a very mature, very talented junior quarterback. That's a really good throw, and right through Harry Unger's hands. And it's a situation where Jake Weingarts has to put his trust in his quarterback.
And the clock stops. That helps Brighton as well. 3:25 remaining in the third.
Watch a screen here. Watch your back in the flat.
Off play action. He's going to run it. He needs to get to the 33, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds right around the 30. Matt Johns came up from his safety spot to make sure that Brendan Sullivan was shy of the first down.
It's going to be fourth down once again, too. The clock stops as he runs out of bounds. So really taking no time off the clock. It's fourth down and 3 situation.
Hey, listen, everything changes if Brighton can get a score off this possession. Chandler Thrower will punt it away.
Watch a hard count. You don't want to jump here.
Ruben Salinas waits for it at his own 35. Short punt. It'll be downed at the 40-yard line. Down to Brooke Fletcher. Brooke?
Yeah, Matt, after that touchdown, it is a completely different Brighton crowd. Ruben Salinas was walking up and down the sidelines, talking to his teammates and the fans, saying, we're going to come back. And they all know that there's still a lot of football left to be played, Matt.
Yeah, first things first for them. They needed the stop, Brooke, and they got the stop. And now Brian Lemon's offense goes back out on the field after their most successful drive of the day.
You know, we talk about Latrell Fordham being out as a receiver, but maybe more importantly, he's out as a defensive back. He is the best lockdown defensive back that Davison has.
Nemechek slipped through a hole and got to the 44.
You can still run the ball in this situation. I would like to see a little bit more urgency of getting the plays in. You don't have the luxury of this being the first quarter and being down 17. You're winding down under 3 minutes in the third quarter.
Again on the ground. Stop and start by Sheldon Riley. Out of bounds at midfield. Should be enough for a first down.
Nice little dead leg, we call this. You're going to watch Sheldon Riley. It's just a handoff, just a sweep, old-fashioned. But watch as he gets outside. He's going to kind of raise up a little stutter and then go. He just gets the defense to raise up. You see Harry Unger, who was really in good position, but by that little raise and go, Harry gets a little flat footing. He's able to get to the edge and move the sticks.
Remember, he had that big 56-yard gallop that allowed Brighton to get on the board.
You know, it's tough right now. You're running the ball. You can't count on those huge running plays, especially when Davison has 8 people in the box.
Brighton will continue to try and run it. Not going anywhere on that
one. Davison is filling so quickly and so hard. They've seen this movie. Look at this. They fill, they step. There's 5, 6 yellow shirts. Somehow you got to try to soften them up, spread them out a little bit, juice them maybe 2 by 2. You're doing pretty much all. There've been a lot of 20 or 12 personnel, 21 personnel, double tight.
Which is what? Back. What's 12 personnel?
12 personnel is 1 tight, 2 backs.
Under 2 minutes in the third. Nuber will have to throw here. Does so. Connects. That's the way to move the football. A.J. Lynn on the receiving end. That's the second catch of the day.
You need those linebackers of Davison to move into coverage. They're such really physical run stoppers. In the slot, it's a little sit-down route. Nice job, well-delivered ball. You need them to have to come up or get out in coverage a little bit more. You got Pasco. And then you have Caleb Smith coming from the safety position. But these guys, they come up, they're great run stoppers. But if you're right in the Bulldogs now, let's see how they do in coverage. Let's see how they drop. So stretch them out a little bit.
First down plunge for Newberg to move the chains, stop the clock momentarily. Now it picks back up. Are you surprised they're huddling?
Not they're huddling. It's taking quite a while that they're not signaling plays. And look at this formation.
You're down to 5 seconds on the snap clock.
They're going to delay it. You're trying to go in a hurry, and you're going to have to take a timeout.
Oh, man. Yep.
But, I think Brian Lemons, I know he looks like he's upset. But if I recall, he had most of his quarterback was still on the sidelines with about 10 seconds on the play clock.
Right.
I mean, I think Brian's going to look in the mirror and later talk to his quarterback and say, I'm sorry, that's on me. Because you got to get the play signaled in. That's one thing. When you're the head coach and also the coordinator at times, it can take its toll. You might be doing some administrative stuff on the sidelines with other players that you need to attend to. You're also trying to get the play in.
Rubes, we want folks to stay with us as Football Week in Michigan, presented by Kroger, continues after this one. The Division 5 state championship game coming up at 4:30. Almont comes to Ford Field looking for their first title, taking on the Cougars of Lansing Catholic. You can watch it on Fox Sports Detroit Plus and the Fox Sports Go app. And then the nightcap, it's Muskegon against River Rouge on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. What a week of Football Week in Michigan. Started with the Lions and the Bears on Fox. 8 championship games for you here on our network, here for bragging rights in the state of Michigan. Then the Zenith Legacy All-Star game tomorrow. In addition to that, FS1 with Michigan and Ohio State. 1st and 10 for Brighton. They're down 28-11. Nick Nemechek. Bounce into the outside. Dragged out of bounds. Stops the clock with 45 seconds left and at the 37-yard line.
Now, here's the problem with Brighton. They're giving away a little bit just by formation. If you look at what they do, they're getting the tight ends being covered, Shep. They'll have a receiver out there. But right here, this tight end, you can't see it here, but the receiver's on the ball to the right. That means he's ineligible. So that's a run-look formation. That's what they're doing out of it.
Second and 7. At least that coming up on 3rd down. Logan Pasco made sure of it, stopping Sheldon Riley in his tracks.
Okay, on the play, 3rd down.
Well, you're in 4-down territory. Not to tell you that, Shep.
You don't have to run another play, but do you want to run another play?
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You're down 3 possessions. There should be much more urgency. How about enough high school football realize how fast the 4th quarter can go?
3rd and 8. Newberg throws and incomplete. That'll do it for 3 quarters. His intended receiver was A.J. Lynn, but they've got to find a way to connect. When we come back, we will start the 4th. Davison leads at 28-11, trying to make school history with 12 minutes left in their 2019 season. Davison in good shape. They lead at 28-11. Their quarterback has been everything and more, Rob Rubick. Couple of touchdown runs. He's led his team in rushing, and he's thrown for 227 and a score right there.
And I think he's really played within himself. He hasn't tried to do too much. When you're a talented kid like him, sometimes if the pressure rises, you may feel you need to do more. Well, I think Brendan Sullivan's done a nice job of playing within. He's run the ball when he should. He's thrown the ball and been accurate. He's made some big throws and really shown some good leadership here today for a junior quarterback.
He's also 13 of 18, so only misfired on 5 throws. Colby Newberg can't misfire here. He's staring at a 4th down and long.
Best matchups on the bottom here. He's going up top.
Oh, what an adjustment on the part of Ruben Salinas.
Wow. I don't know who's recruiting this young man, but if they're watching this game, he's going to get a lot of phone calls and a lot of letters, whatever, the emails, texts, whatever. He adjusts to the ball so well. That is not easy to do, people. You have to understand, when you're looking over one shoulder, when he does this turn, he has to lose total sight of the ball, and it's close. So he loses sight and is able to pick it back up.
especially indoors where you're not used to playing.
Exactly,
and
it gets hot in the light sometimes. This is a much better environment. The Silverdomes used to be way in the corner, stacks of them.
Remember Herman Moore used to tell us how he used to lose it in the lights quite a bit. Newberg wants to throw again. Flush from the pocket. Look out. He's in trouble and throws it away.
That's intentional grounding. That's going to be a flag. This is not, that's the problem with these kids now. I can't believe a flag doesn't come out. This is not college. There's an injured Davison Cardinal.
Yeah, remember, there is no tackle box.
There is. I mean, you have
to
throw near or at someone. It looks like he just threw that about 20 yards out of bounds. That being said, there is an injured Cardinal.
I cannot see him at all. Totally blocked behind this guy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you didn't do anything.
What's Brighton thinking here on 2nd down and 10, knowing they've got to score? They need 6 points.
Well, I'm not doing a very good job getting inside Coach Lemon's head because I haven't called many of their plays correctly. I know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking is I got Ruben Salinas. I have 2nd down and 10. I'm throwing it 3 times to him. I'll move him around. I might motion him by formation. I'm throwing it to the corner and let my best player go against whoever their corner is in the game and think that my best player is going to win.
Yeah, remember this. It's worth noting Latrell Fordham, the best cover corner for Davison, who's 6'3", is out. So you've got one corner who's 5'10", the other corner is 6 feet, and you got a couple of big targets wearing Brighton white and orange. Luke Stanton, the tight end, is 6'4". Ruben Salinas, the outstanding wide receiver, is 6'3". And it's nice to see that the injured player, Peyton Pizzala, is up and walking under his own power to the sideline.
Well, I'll tell you, Peyton's a lot better football player than his father was. I coached his dad at Lapeer back in the early 90s. He's better. Yeah, I coached Tim, who's actually on the staff here. I had to give him the raspberries a little bit. Peyton's he's been on the varsity. He was up as a sophomore last year and this year as a junior. So he still has 1 year remaining, a good high school football player.
2nd down and 10 for Brighton. This will be the 11th play of the Brighton drive.
See, now you got Ruben Salinas down here on the bottom. I'd even take him down. He's pretty close to the hash right here. This is where you got to attack. That's your best matchup. Now they got man-to-man coverage.
Colby Newberg on a 2nd and 10. Quarterback keeper has the edge. And wisely tiptoes out of bounds inside the 15. They'll mark him at the 13-yard line.
Well, there's that keeper we've been talking about asking for the entire game, and this is a good job. Newberg has good wheels. Now, he's got good speed. There's going to be a little ball fake to the right up the middle, and then puts it on his hip or tucks it in his belly a little bit and gets outside, shows good speed. That's a 6-7-yard game with no time running off the clock. But now, 3rd and 5. Newberg, the quarterback, is split wide to the right. You got Luke Stanton. To me, it looks like he's going to be in the quarterback position. Looks like just a heavy set. Watch him run to the right. Follow the 2 up backs.
4 for 12 on 3rd downs. Stanton dragged down, not even close.
Well, I don't think Luke Stanton gave that formation very much time to develop. They had a heavy load with 2 fullbacks offset behind the tackle and the guard. And usually in that situation, if you're going to run it, you're going to run that power. Now, sometimes you'll see this backside and you run power backside, but I think this is just all straight ahead. You're just trying to get a lot of numbers that see the blocks, follow, get in there. Now, you see Harry Younger did beat the block and got inside. Maybe that's what flashed in front of Stanton's face, but you got to give it a chance. That's why the coaches put that in. Now, this is pretty much
Rivaldo.
Yeah, if you don't get it here, it's going to be tough going.
4th and 5. Newberg looking left, throwing, intercepted and then dropped, but it doesn't really matter. Jalen Murray Flowers jumped the route. Brighton's quarterback and receiver weren't on the same page, and they turn it over.
Yeah, that's what he's Ruben Salinas. He's running a little slant and then back to the corner. He's not even looking for the ball. He's going back to the corner. And Newberg he's throwing the slant. See, this, and I'm not sure what this is, but as a receiver, if that's not called, you can't do that. You can't leave your quarterback hanging like, oh, I feel it, I'm going deep. No, he's throwing the slant. He's trusting when he lets the ball go, you're going to be there. And he wasn't there.
Yeah, because you know what everybody's saying. He would have been wide open if he turns it up. Just hold on to it for a moment longer. I don't know whose fault that is, but still, if that's the slant you're supposed to run,
you better run
it does make it look pretty bad, right? Davison takes over with 10:36 to go and leading 28-11. And stay inbounds. Carter Kreiderman does his best to do just that.
I see him talking, communicating right now, Salinas and Newberg on the sidelines. Quarterbacks and receivers, people take it for granted that they both know what they're doing, that there's a certain play, and that's what you do. But there's a lot of minutia that goes into it nowadays. There's a lot of reading on both players' parts.
Unspoken communication so important. On an end around Harrison Terry. Boy, wise play. Stops and waits to be taken down shy of the 25 so he can stay inbounds.
Harrison took one for the team there. He saw he was going out of bounds, and I think Coach Weingart's is standing right there yelling, "Stop, don't come over here." Harrison kind of stands there, and then the flow of the defense comes and gets him. You see him, it looks like he's going to just bounce it and run out of bounds. He's like, I probably should stay in.
I can tell you this, after that tackle where he got bent backwards, you doubt he's going to get the football.
Davison doing nice, yeah, that's important. Doing a good job moving the sticks.
Smith stiff arms his way all the way up to the 39-yard line. That senior right there just wanted it more than anybody else.
That's what we thought we were going to see in the open a little bit more. The big back pounding away. Kreiderman, physical back, a little more shifty, but Caleb Smith, 5'10", over 205 pounds. He's a banger. He's done a nice job this year, young man. He was offered. I thought he was going to go to South Dakota State. There was rumor that he may decommit. I'm not sure what I've heard, that he wanted to stay closer to home, but a good player. Really been a physical player for him the past couple of years.
Led the team in rushing during the season, close to 1,000 yards. Sullivan on a soft sweep. Kreiderman, nice cutback. Nice job getting the extra yardage. Look at the fire continue to go.
And I like Jake Weingartz is making a good adjustment. Early in the game, their run game was between the tackles. They're running the power. They're running the counter. Now, they're running everything to the edge. They're stretching this Brighton defense that's loaded up inside with 6-7 inside. And now he's just getting the quick toss, getting outside. Nice job blocking at the point of attack also by Davison.
Earlier in the broadcast, we talked about Davison's big playability, 20 yards or more. That was worth 21. Inside give for Caleb Smith. Stays in bounds. Let the young man eat all the way to the 30.
Well, something worked. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's working well for Davison. They're just running a little jet action. They've run it with Smith. They've run it with Kreiderman. They ran it with Harrison Terry as well. No incomplete passes. Everyone's staying in bounds, and that clock continues to tick now under 9 minutes. And it's a feeling of helplessness that Brian Lemons, the coach of Brighton, is feeling right now. You want to get that ball back to try to do something offensively, but right now, the offense of Davison is just a little bit too good.
Sullivan with a give to Kreiderman. Stretching it out, cutting it up. Another nifty move. He crawls inside the 15.
I'm seeing a tired defense right now. I'm seeing some Bulldogs with their tongues hanging out. They're just stretching this. This is nothing. This is just running it to the edge, a little jet read. You know, Sullivan has the option to pull that, but there's nothing outside. Brighton is just not getting the edge. They're not setting the edge at all, so he just keeps giving it. And Kreiderman says, I'll take it. Smith says, I'll take it.
They'll work the other side. Kreiderman again. Shoving men out of the way. Taken down by Brendan Mercier.
Well, Cole Riddle, Tegan Kogler, and Mercier, they're having a hard time right now. Those linebackers, they're getting a lot of east to west running in. You know, the defensive line we talked about with Stevens and Staworski, Quapitz, and Stanton. That was the strength of this team coming in, their front seven.
But Davison's had the answer, and that answer was early in the game, spread the ball, get it outside in the passing game, and late in the game, now you attack the edge with the run game.
Remember last week what Davison did? They just wore down Sterling Heights Stevenson.
Yeah, they spotted
them 358 to 160. They're doing the same here on the biggest stage of their high school lives. They're up 28 to 11 with 7:22 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Welcome back to Ford Field. Davison leads 28 to 11. Brighton isn't the only football team that is playing here at Ford Field today. Their unified flag football team played before the Division 7 game earlier this morning. Head coach Brian Lemons got in on the action. He is actually an assistant coach, as he was there on the sidelines. Now, I did talk to him earlier this week, and he said, Brooke, I had no idea that our team was going to be making it to the state championship game. So I not only have one team to worry about, I have two today, Matt.
Both are gratifying for him, there's no question, and both he appreciates greatly. But he's hoping his team can get a key stop here, maybe a turnover, Brooke, to try and make this one a little bit more interesting. It's 28-11, his team on the downside of that score with 7:22 left.
Yeah, you look at, we call this a yo-yo factor. When you get an offense that's going well, you kind of get that defense on the yo-yo. You can hit him outside, you can hit him inside, you hit him deep, you hit him short, and they're reacting what you do after you do it, not before you do it.
2nd and 8 for Brendan Sullivan and Davison. Fakes to Caleb Smith, and inside the 10 he crawls.
Well, you knew that was going to happen sooner or later, where he's going to pull it. He's been given, I said it's a true read, and they're running all that jet. He is reading it, and you've given it so many times. You figure sooner or later he was going to read it and pull it, just try to catch the defense off guard. Pretty good job. He's able to pick up some yards, sets up a 3rd down and 4. And I'm not telling someone to call a football game, but to me, this is 4-down territory. I'm not kicking a field goal, risking a block and a scoop and score the other way. I try to get positive yards here, and I go for it on 4.
4 wide receivers set for Sullivan. He's going to roll the pocket. He's going to get chased. He stays on his feet, and he glides out of bounds.
He can run. I told you, he's long, so he doesn't look like he's fast, but he's very quick-footed. He's not a long strider. He's more of a short strider, but really good turnover.
He's elusive, too.
Yeah, it looks like Stanton's got him dead to rights here. The kid's picked a little bit, and then coming up from the secondary was that Tegan Kogler you think is going to get him number 8. He's able to get around the linebacker and just run out of bounds. You wish that clock was going here. Sending Logan Pasco into the game. Play clock's winding down. Look for maybe Jake Weingart to take a timeout.
Nothing to lose here, going for it right on 4th and 5. No big deal. Although he's going to have to take a timeout.
Yeah, I don't know. He's letting the play clock run down, which I'm not sure why, because the game clock's not going. The game clock, he ran out of bounds on the previous
I think
play.
they were just a little tardy getting the play.
Yeah.
And look, you've talked about that the last couple of days in our broadcast. The game speeds up, even for coaches in a game like this, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Because you prepare hard for every game. When you get in this environment, it's a different environment. Obviously, the field's still 120 yards, right? But it's a different environment with the officials, with the play clocks, where you're looking up there. Most high schoolers are getting play clocks, but they're not up high like here. So if our head coach, all of a sudden, you have to acclimate yourself to everything that's going on around you, and you're trying to get the plays, and you're trying to get the best possible play, and sometimes you get behind the clock yourself a little bit. We saw that with Coach Lemons, and now we've seen it with Coach Weingart once or twice as well.
You've been on the sidelines as a coach. How far in advance are you thinking?
It varies coach to coach. I was a 3-play guy. When I called my play, I always knew what I wanted for my 2nd play, and then I started to think about my 3rd play. And once that play I called, I didn't even watch the plays all the time because I was thinking what I wanted to do next. That play's done. There's nothing I could do to control it. I just needed to know, and I'd have someone say, hey, good job at the point of attack. We're winning that one, and then, it would help you out.
That's where your position coaches come into play. Right. Here we go, 4th and 5.
On the toss this way, maybe a quick toss. You got 3 blockers out there.
Rolling that way. Leaning close to the 1st down, but it looks like he's going to be short. Cole Riddle made sure of that. Leading tackler for Brighton's defense.
Just because plays don't work, it doesn't mean they're not a good play call, and vice versa. Because a play works, sometimes it doesn't mean it's a good play call. It's just this. I like this. This is a little run pass option. Good job. You got Caleb Smith trying to seal the end, but a nice play. That just happened. That's just a really nice job getting penetration and beating the block by Robert Herrick. He does a good job of beating the block and forcing Brendan Sullivan to something he didn't want to do. He really was looking to throw the ball. So they do get a stop, Shep, but now 6:30 and 3 possessions. It's tough.
Colby Newberg, who threw for almost 1,400 yards during the season, try and lead his team as he floats one out and hauls it in at the 30-yard line. A.J. Lynn with a teardrop over the shoulder for a gain of 23.
And this is what I've been struggling with a little bit. He can throw the ball, he being Kobe Newcomb, and A.J. Lynn and Ruben Salinas, they can go and get it. Coach Lemon really stayed with that power game a long time. You know, he's got a couple really good receivers. Spread them out, make Davison wide a little bit, and then if you want to come back and slip a run in, you can. That's a nice job, a well-thrown ball. Good catch.
Newberg now 7 of 15 for 126 yards. First and 10 for him. Nice pocket. Now he'll scramble away. Eyes downfield, throwing, catching at the 42-yard line. That was a frozen rope.
Nice job. Good job working, keeping your route alive. Don't let that when the play breaks down a little bit, Shep. And that's what you want. That's Nicholas Haas. He keeps working. And a nice job once again by Kobe Newcomb. Throws the hands, and that's a well-thrown ball. But what they're doing now is what I thought we'd see maybe early or late, early in the fourth or late in the third quarter, spreading them out.
Set up the screen. Nemechek has some blockers. Nice move. And all the way down to the 40.
Well, this play is well done, and the best job is by the quarterback, Newberg. He waits, he draws him in at the very last second, he dumps it out. And this allows Nemechek time to get it with his offensive lineman, get in front of the screen as well.
Another first down run. Fighting his way close to the 30-yard line.
I think it was just a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, Newberg does just that. Prior to that, it was a 22-yard gain, a 14-yard gain, and a 17-yard gain for Brian Lemon's offense.
No, let's not fool ourselves. Davison's being coached defensively now to keep things in front of him. So you're playing a little bit soft. Yeah. It's not a prevent per se. It's just don't bite on stuff so there's a little more room to run your offense underneath coverage.
Didn't quite give him the first down at 2nd and short. Downfield and incomplete. It's almost a surprise when Ruben Salinas doesn't make a catch like that. Took a shot on 2nd and short.
Well, that last play, though, there's something wrong in the design. I'm not sure who ran it, but you had Mark Pajah along with Ruben Salinas. And when you have two receivers, you see Pakaj coming in there outside, and then you got Ruben Salinas from two of the offensive guys. No two should ever be in the same area.
Helps the defense. Newberg tripped up.
He's going to be short, but more importantly, that clock continues to run.
Boy, Logan Pasco again, Rubes.
He's got to have double-digit tackles today.
Oh, easy. 4th and short. Newberg again. Got it this time.
Now they'll stop the clock momentarily, but I think once again you got to get back and start slinging it. But don't bring another defender. Separate your routes a little bit. Pakaj that time, like I said, was right near Salinas.
14 tackles for Pasco now. Airing it out, and it is incomplete.
Wow.
I think intended for Mark Pakaj.
I think Pakaj, we'll get another look here. That's just a go route down the side. And I'm surprised he was able. Oh, right in the helmet
of Landon Kish.
Yeah, Kish was there in pretty good position, but wow. I thought Pakaj dropped it, but instead it just went right off the helmet of the defender. Stops the clock, though. Keep taking shots. I like Salinas on the top side. Are they going to double him? Yep, they're going to bump him and then funnel him inside.
Newberg tosses wide open. Nemechek has his second touchdown. They lost the back out of the backfield.
Great play design. I talked about Salinas. We're going to stop this right on the beginning and hold it for a second. They're going to bring Salinas in here. He's going to come with them. He's going to come with them. We're going to take Nemechek out of the backfield on the wheel route. You see him go to double? When Salinas comes across, they both jump in, and no one takes Nemechek. Easy pitch and catch. Here's another look. You don't get much easier than this, and that's a really well-designed play. Davison got caught with both eyeballs, 2 sets of eyeballs on Salinas and none on Nemechek.
Going for 2. Bulldogs got it last time. They'll float it up, and it will be caught by Salinas for another 2-point conversion for Brighton.
Did a nice job grabbing the ball. Shep, we coming back from break. They've cut it to a 9-point lead. Still a little bit of time. We're going to come back, and we're probably going to see an onside kick.
Davison started rolling, having touchdowns on 4 of their first 5 possessions. Brighton has made it interesting coming back. Nick Nemechek has scored 1 on the ground and 1 through the air. It's 28-19. Davison leads with time running out here in the 4th.
And I think you have to onside kick this. What I'm asking myself, we're asking you, Shep, we're up here, is why didn't they start this, Coach Lemons, a little bit earlier, maybe in the end of the 3rd or early in the 4th, when it was a 4-possession game. They've scored twice, but in doing so, they've also taken about 9 to 10 minutes off the clock. It's still a 2-possession game. Now, you see Davison, you got 10 up here in the front, so look for possible, if you don't do the hard line drive, a little pooch kick over the top.
There it is, and the hands team swallows it up.
Peyton Pizzala, nice job. Got injured earlier, back in the game. That's what you want. First row, let it go by. You protect the first wave of defenders coming. Second row, catch the ball. Now 3 timeouts still for Brighton. Oh, my bad. 2 timeouts. I'm looking, Shep. Sorry about that.
The ball is side, 44 yards.
So 1st and 10 now for Davison. Remember, they moved the ball all the way down inside the 10-yard line on their last possession. And they ran it and ran it and ran it, and Brighton knew it, but they still were able to run it effectively.
Well, they hurt him with the jet action, with the motion with Kreiderman. Let's see, here it goes again. This time it's Smith.
Instead, Sullivan keeps it. Flag on the play as he slides at the 46.
Well, when a play gets extended like that, a lot of times you're going to see offensive holding. Sullivan cuts back against the grain. And when you do that, your linemen think you're going one way, and then all of a sudden the defender reads it. He goes by you, and what do? You grab him. And that's what happened that time, and that's going to be a penalty. Now, if you're Brighton, you have to make the decision. Okay, it's a 10-yard penalty, a spot foul, but that's another play they get back. So I think with only a gain of 1 or 2, I decline this.
Ethan Stawarski remains down for Brighton, the big defensive tackle.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of a foul. Repeat.
We'll get another look here. As I said, when Sullivan starts to ad-lib, I think you know, you hate to point the finger at those young men because we never hardly called it, but it could have been Yusuf Dukuli. Number 51, I'm not sure. Oh, chop block. Look at that. That's nasty.
Isaac Norton came down, and Ethan Stawarski paid the price. Good to see him get off under his own power, though. 4 minutes remaining in the state championship game of Division I. Sullivan's going to throw it. He's got Smith. Caleb Smith made a man miss. Look out, he's is off to the races. Still on his feet. Oh, he lunges to the one. What an effort on the part of the senior.
But how about the play call? Props, you got to take your hat off to Jake Weingarts. That just shows a lot of confidence in your quarterback. To come out when you know you have to kind of munch that clock, and you come out throwing it, but that's just trust. And a senior receiver / running back in Caleb Smith, and a junior quarterback in Brendan Sullivan knowing they're going to deliver with the pitch and catch.
Boy, you got to keep that kid in the game and give him a chance to get that 6 points, don't you? His longest reception of the year.
I think he's sucking air a little bit right now, too.
Instead, it's Kreiderman backpedaling his way in.
Well, just when it looked like Brighton had just a glimmer of hope with 4 minutes to go, they just get it snuffed out. Just that not all comes from execution and play calling and confidence. As I said earlier, now Kreiderman Heath finishes it off, but that Brighton Bulldog defense has been up against it all day. It's a really, really talented offensive team. They have some players now. They got some, we like to call them dudes in the coaching profession, Shep. They got a lot of dudes offensively. That's when being a coach is fun. You got guys like a Sullivan, a Fordham, Smith, Kreiderman, Harry Unger. They got a lot of good players, this Davison Cardinal team does.
Late flag on the extra point.
Well, here it is. They run trips to one side. They just throw hits to the slot. A nice little in and out move by Caleb Smith. And just as we saw him run down the defender in the first half and make the shoestring tackle, he gets run down in the second half and stopped on the one. And then they let Kreiderman come in and get all the glory with the touchdown. Caleb Smith, the senior's like, come on, Jake, Coach Weingarts, what's going on here? But he gets the headshot. He gets the mug shot at the end. And that's what's all about FaceTime, which reminds me of we got Devin Gardner's in the house now.
Hey, let me just say this. The way they have played today, you wonder how they lost during the season. You wonder how they lost to Lapeer.
Yeah, Lapeer.
You wonder how they lost to
I watched that De La Salle film, and De La Salle was a quality football team. But I said, Latrell Fordham, Latrell built this lead initially to 21-3 early on. He's a difference maker. And this team, I think, has got a lot of confidence over the course of the playoff. As you said, Shep, they were down in 3 playoff games. Were able to come back and win those games. So they definitely turned the tide and turned the corner. Jake Weingarts has the Davison program in pretty good hands right now in the right direction.
They feel it now, don't they? Grab those 15 seconds of fame. Go ahead. The team's about to win a state championship.
What do you think, Shep? Pretty good 2 days we've had.
Oh, man, it's been special. It always is working with you, but I mean, I just love this event like nobody's business. So much fun. The passion, the pride, the support. It's awesome. The MHSAA and Fox Sports Detroit does a heck of a job.
What a good partnership, huh?
We're lucky to work with a lot of the pros that we work with during these broadcasts. Everybody in the truck, all the camera folks, all the behind-the-scenes folks in our booth. We're lucky. We're thankful on a Thanksgiving weekend.
You know, Shep, I got to start doing this in 1992 with Pass Sports before Fox took it over, and it's grown into quite a spectacular event each year here at Ford Field. Look at go!
3:20 away for Davison. And we've talked a lot about the weightlifting program and the commitment there. I thought it was interesting that Jake Weingarts told us that they switched the strength and conditioning program. It started at CrossFit when he was first there, and then they went to weightlifting. And you could see the confidence. You could see the injuries are way down. He had to convince the folks, hey, listen, it can't be CrossFit. We've got to do more of what you usually see from football teams. A quick slant connects on a first down for A.J. Lynn.
Yeah, he's definitely changed the culture. That the school's a little bit of turmoil after the last head coach. There was some problems they had before they hired Jake Weingarts, and he came into kind of rough waters, so to speak, and has really calmed things down and instilled a sense of winning.
Across the middle.
I'm bewildered. I know that Davison is playing solid, but Newberg can throw the ball. You know, we knew coming in at 17 touchdown passes as well as 17 touchdown runs.
Yeah.
I just, you know, you got a talented quarterback in Salinas. We know he's a fine receiver. A.J. Lynn shows he's capable as well.
Stanton's a big target.
Big tight end. Yeah, he just... But you know what? We're not with this team all the time. We're not with them day to day, and no one knows him better than Brian Lemons. He's going to try to get the best of whatever they can do.
Another nice grab by Nick Nemechek. He's had a nice ball game for Brighton. 3 straight completions, 2 first downs, and 1 pickup of 9. 2.5 left. Rubick has an alley and closes quickly. It was there for a moment until Will Watkins shedded a block and wrapped him up.
Well, you got Watkins and Harry Younger coming off the edges. 2 good players. And look at Watkins does a nice job of sinking underneath. A lot of defensive ends, when they get the upfield pass rush, their only thing is to keep going high. He took the tackle, threw him down, and came back underneath it.
Newberg on a seam route, almost intercepted by Jalen Murray Flowers. Davison 2 minutes away from becoming the first champion from the Saginaw Valley League to win a state title since Saginaw back in 1999. Remember Saginaw, Lamar Woodley, Charles Rogers, Torrey Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley, all on that Saginaw team that beat Brother Rice 14-7.
They had some dudes there, too,
I think so. When you're playing in the NFL, you got dudes. There's a dude. Oh, Newberg. How did he slip out of that?
What a competitor. There's no quit in number 12. Yeah, I'd go to war with that man any day. He's not 6'4", doesn't have the biggest arm, but he's a really, really good high school football player. Untouched, coming in, pressure. Watkins came in. Newberg was able to make him miss and kind of stumble out of there.
3rd down and 12. Colby Newberg from the pocket across the middle, incomplete.
Oh, we're going to have a unsportsmanlike call. Jay Davison, haven't called his name very much here today, but I think he's going to get the call. That's going to be a targeting. Either Pasco, I'm not sure if it's on Jay Davison or Logan Pasco.
Ruben Salinas, the injured Brighton Bulldog.
Oh, yeah, that was, I apologize to Mr. Nivus, and that was all Logan Pasco. You just can't do that at any level in today's game. That is an automatic.
I don't care who you're rooting for. You want Ruben Salinas to get up, please.
Yes. Logan Pasco is going to have the opportunity to play collegiately, and if you do that, Logan, you will be sitting out a whole game, a half of this one and a half of the next one, because that is a no-brain targeting call. So that's nice to see Ruben Salinas get up. And I think Logan Pasco is probably happy.
Illegal helmet contact. Defense, 15 yards from the previous spot. After the penalty, 1st down.
Thank goodness that Salinas gets up. He has had such a special performance today. Love watching that kid play the game of football. So have everybody in Brighton.
Rob, you know, hats off to that man right there, Brian Lemons. He did what many other Division I teams couldn't do, and that's to get here. So he's one of 2 teams able to get to the finals. Going to come up short against the Davison Cardinals, but what a year for the Brighton Bulldogs.
Something no other Brighton team has ever done. At the 18-yard line, Lynn hauls in that seed.
I mean, that's one that both got. You see Caleb Smith, he's taking himself out too. That's a warrior there, number 17, fine high school football player. You know what? That's a really good tackle. You see him slide his head, use his shoulder, wrapped his arms. I got no problem with that one now. That's just good football.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to tackle.
Yes.
Rubick looking, now rolling. Out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Well, looks like Davison has avenged their wrestling loss. People forget in the semis last year, Brighton knocked them out in the dual matches, knocked out Davison. And it's a little bit of revenge here in football for the Cardinals coming back, and it's going to be interesting in this year. We talked about Stevens, rather, a couple of good wrestlers there, and Davison, his program was loaded.
Stanton on a nice catch on that slant route. Big target, holding on, under a minute to go. Newberg marching down, floating corner, incomplete, intended for Stanton.
Big Luke Stanton gets away. I think a little bit of a push. I know we have another look at this, but he's just running a fade route, and he gets behind the defensive back a little bit. I don't know if that was Murray Flowers. He gives him the old one-hander in the lower back like you're playing basketball. You know, you get the ball lobbed over the top, you get a little one-hander in the lower back, push off.
Second down and goal from the 3. On a slant route, caught, touchdown Brighton. A.J. Lynn came back in and reeled in his 4th touchdown of the year.
Well, A.J. Lynn's going to be lined up in the slot to the left. This is just a slant. Linebacker's a little bit slow reacting, getting over there. Well, that was 23 Jay Davison, just not quite quick enough getting over to the edge to cut it. And that makes it a 10-point lead. They'll go for 2 here, Shep. What you make it if you get it here? It makes it a one-possession
game. Right. So a pretty big play right here. Timeout Brighton. 2 more games coming up after this one. We will watch Lansing Catholic take on Almont in the Division 5 championship game, and then River Rouge against Muskegon. Muskegon unblemished on the season, tested a couple of times. Cameron Martinez is the guy to watch for Muskegon. The big red quarterback headed to Ohio State.
Like they need help. That's what they did to Michigan again today. Here's a look at Cam Martinez, one of the top dual threat quarterbacks, not in the Midwest, but in the country. You know, he's been doing this for 4 years at the varsity level. Remember, as a true freshman, he won a state championship at Muskegon Catholic Central. He's 0 for 2 as a Big Red. This is his opportunity to get off the snide and get the first state championship as being the quarterback of the Muskegon Big Reds.
And back-to-back Michigan High School Football Player of the Year award.
Has that been done?
That's a big trophy.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's won the back-to-back.
Here's the other thing.
Like
you mentioned winning it as a freshman. To get there back-to-back, 4th straight trip to the finals for this young man.
Right.
That tells you something about his pedigree, doesn't it?
Yeah, that tells you why Ohio State is stockpiling quarterbacks once again.
Empty set for Colby Newberg. They're trying to make it a 1-possession game. Looking, throwing, and it is incomplete.
Well, they threw that slant earlier. This time it brought a whole bunch of mustard-colored jerseys as they try sliding. It's just going to be a quick slant to the left, throws it. And as you can see, there's 3 converging on it. Salinas does get inside, but look at Flower. Ooh, that's... You know what? The reason that's a good play is I think Flowers got there a little bit early, but he's totally playing the ball. He's becoming the receiver himself, and if you're playing the ball, I mean, obviously you can't just totally impede the receiver going for the ball, but if you're a defensive back and you're playing the football like that, you get a lot more latitude, as we saw there. So that's a good play, jumping the route by Jalen Murray Flowers.
So we expect another Brighton onside kick attempt.
Yeah, I mean, is when do you wave the white flag? I think this one's over. It was 43 seconds to go in the game, but maybe you get the kick, you throw it in the end zone. You never know. I think that last two-point conversion was a last gasp.
Number 2,
868 total yards of offense today. A line drive kick swallowed up at the 50-yard line, and Davison can now milk it and celebrate.
Well, north and M15, they're going to be celebrating tonight in the town of Davison, and hats off to the Saginaw Valley League. You talked about, when you talked about Saginaw High earlier, you're out of the valley.
Their motto is one word: finish. Doesn't matter if it's at school, practice, weight room, a play, or a quarter. What a way to finish a season. Davison, for the first time in the history of their football program, are crowned state champions.
The celebrations begun, Shep, and really, really good football game. I think Brighton just really put their foot on the gas a little bit too late, in my opinion. But Davison making the plays when they needed to, losing really one of their two best players in the first half when Latrell Fordham went down, but able to compensate for it, get Caleb Smith involved more in the second half, and lean on Brendan Sullivan to protect the ball and make good decisions in the passing game. Very deserving state champions.
Valiant effort on the part of Brighton, but it was Davison's consistency, offensively and defensively, that won the day and won the state title by 10. It's about trusting a process, and the kids at Davison bought into the process, taught by Jake Weingarts and his coaching staff. What's it mean to that community, Rob Rubick? You're familiar with it.
Well, anytime a community gets their first championship in Michigan in football, it's huge. Now all of a sudden, when you drive into Davison, what's that sign going to say? Entering Davison, home of the 2019 Division I state champs. So it is big, and it's something that Davison's had a lot of good programs over the year. Jeff Putnam, former Liberty coach, went to Davison, got him to the next level, but Jake Weingarts was able to take him to the ultimate level.
Can never take it away from him. It's been a blast, partner. That's going to do it for our coverage of the Division I state championship game. Our final score, Davison 35, Brighton 25. We'll be back on Fox Sports Detroit at 4:30, bottom of the hour, with our coverage of the Division V state championship game. For Brooke Fletcher, my partner Rob Rubick, our entire Fox Sports Detroit crew, I'm Matt Shepard saying so long and thanks for watching Football Week in Michigan.